All right, everybody. Welcome to the playground. I'm Pixie Phoenix. I'm a full-time variety streamer here on Twitch. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's Monday night, Vampire the Masquerade, Philly by night. I'm joined by Nox, our storyteller. Idaho plays, Skot, who plays Idaho. Sorry, guys, I'm way out of it today. I'm so out of it. And Zack, who's Victor. And I'm Al. How's everybody doing, other than a zombie like me?
Well, definitely happy to finally have our 50th session.
Yeah.
It's been 3 weeks since we were all able to get together in some way, shape, or form, so it's definitely good to be back. So, all right. Well then, without further ado, let's get started. Welcome everybody to our Monday night 5th edition Chronicle, Vampire the Masquerade, Philly by Night. Session 50, as mentioned before. It's been several weeks, so we're going to do a little bit of a recap here for what happened last time, since I'm pretty sure if I just dropped everybody down and said, "So what are you doing?" everybody would be like, no.
Running in
I
circles.
don't know, George.
No, I think I actually know where I left off, but there's a lot of people who probably don't know where I left off, so go ahead.
So, when we left off, Michael, who Martha will not be here tonight. She's worried she has COVID, so it will be just the three of us. Michael, who's played by Martha, and Al were escorting Rhea and Clyde back to the apartments after Rhea had her mind screwed with by the librarian as she escaped. Meanwhile, Vic was at the bar guarding Teddy, and Teddy was eating his 4 breakfast sandwiches, feeling a little down.
I want an egg sandwich now, damn it.
When Vic noticed that there were 3 kindred at the bar that he had never seen before. A guy dressed in cargo pants, leather jacket, kind of a Boston scally, looked like a longshoreman. A woman in a leather jacket and really, really terrible makeup. And then another similarly dressed gentleman who was of Latin American descent. The longshoreman got right up in Vic's face after telling them that they were there to get Teddy. Vic messaged on the group chat to let everybody know that there were a whole bunch of kindred there that he had never seen. And Michael ran to attempt to join. Robin jumped up on the bar, getting in the longshoreman's face, attempting to tell him that he didn't know who he was fucking with, and attempting to stand up for Vic in a manner of speaking, which resulted in the longshoreman sending her flying off the bar into the alcohol and mirror behind the bar, leaving her in a really bad spot. Vic activated prowess and drugged the longshoreman out front, where the longshoreman attempted to provoke him into a fight in front of all of the people who were on the street. Romano saw what was going on at the bar, ran for Robin's bar, telling Harvey to stay at the front. Lane also joined him there. Michael literally ran right past Vic and the longshoreman inside to attempt to go find Teddy, who had already been absconded with by the other 2 kindred. So, as this evening is concluding at this point, Al is in the In the apartments, still keeping watch over Rhea. Vic is outside the bar, nearly in a physical confrontation with this unknown kindred who seems to have some sort of attachment to the Northeast Anarchs. And Idaho is arriving on the scene. And he is not the only one who is arriving on the scene. Idaho, when you pull up to the outside of the club, you see Vic and another very muscular guy who he is basically grabbing onto. But as you pull up, there are cop cars that are driving up, lights flashing. There's an ambulance driving up with lights flashing. There's just a ton of them just kind of swarming and are just about to hit the front of the club. So you are kind of new on the scene. So when you drive up, you see all of this. So what is your first action going to be? What are you going to do?
Well, I mean, if there's a bunch of emergency people driving up, I guess I'm going to not try to take action against that guy. Because I was going to, but now I guess I won't. So much for running him over with the car.
You didn't want to fuck up your car anyways.
Yeah. Actually, I did have a few ideas of things I could try, but now that there's a bunch of emergency vehicles around. So I'm trying to play. Obviously, I have no idea what's going on. So, but I am kind of ahead of the emergency vehicles, or we're all rolling up at the same time.
You've got probably about 2 minutes.
So it's obvious they're swarming.
Yes.
Okay. I guess what I'll do is kind of run up to Vic just to kind of see what the hell's going on with him and this other dude, and basically state the obvious and just say I don't know what's going on, but there are a ton of emergency vehicles rolling up. Maybe it's time what's going on? Should we get back into the club? Like, kind of like ignoring that other guy.
I'm kind of split because on one point I'm thinking, cops could be helpful, but then I'm thinking these aren't the cops that we want. These are probably the cops coming to eliminate us because we have information that Cam is wanting to, that Charles and them are wanting to get rid of. Even though that information is already, half out, they don't know that, so we still have a target. I don't know. I'm kind of split on whether I feed this guy to the cops, and just kind of act like, nothing's, we own the club, nothing's going on. But if the cops are coming here to raid the club, then obviously, trying to befriend the cops isn't going to work. So I'm kind of split on what
you can't just hand. No, I'm not there.
Well, and also I'm assuming you're just thinking out loud that you didn't actually say all that stuff.
No, yeah, of course, yeah, no, I'm kind of like just.
Yeah, and obviously, again, I'm trying not to meta too much because Idaho doesn't know what's going on, but there's a bunch of regular people standing outside watching this. Right? There's
yes.
Are they dispersing? Are they starting to run with the police sirens and everything? Like, is that a distraction enough?
Who are the normal people running?
Yeah.
No, the normal people all have phones out. They're all videotaping this.
Yeah. Well, then, basically, I roll up. I can tell there's maybe some tension between Victor and this kindred, who I don't know who this guy is, but they're out in the open in front of a bunch of muggles. And I'm going to kind of look at Vic, maybe look at the guy, but again, I'm kind of being dismissive of the guy, and just be like, "What the fuck's going on, Vic? Should we go back inside, or just the cops are on their way? I mean, we can just hang here until they show up, because I don't really know what's going on."
All right. Well, so far the only one who's done anything illegal is this guy who threw Robin through the bar.
Yeah, so hand him over to the cops.
Holy shit.
That's why I had to drag his ass outside.
Well, there's a bunch of people video recording that. I'm kind of like saying it in like.
All right, I'll walk his ass to a cop car.
Well,
let's go. Let's take the video. Let's take the video to our advantage. Let's go.
All right. Or just wait till the cops roll up and say this.
Yeah, so the cops.
I think he means like he's walking towards where everybody's.
I'm walking
swarming
towards wherever the cops are coming from. Like if I see cop cars coming, I'm walking towards them with this guy fucking in hand.
Oh, you are physically restraining him right now.
I won my grapple.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
At least
we didn't
did we?
We didn't do the roll last time.
Did we?
Oh,
we didn't. Ooh.
No. Oh, do it. Rip his head off.
Oh, that's right, because he was just trying to entice me to come out and fight him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
he was coming willingly. All right.
Like he's trying to get you in trouble, like a breach of the Masquerade or something.
Yeah. That's why I had to restrain, because I could tell he was trying to. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If I could turn this around, just turn him into the cops and just say he threw our bartender through a window.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll press charges when she wakes up, but we also need ambulance. No, never mind. Don't know it.
Well, yeah, we really don't need the cops or an ambulance, but now they're here.
No. Well, so we'll see.
So cops, 2 police cruisers pull up, and almost immediately after, ambulance pulls up. The cop who steps out kind of has a lean bodybuilder build, slicked back hair. The guy who steps out next to her looks like maybe he played football at some point in his life, but that lifetime has been several decades and probably several thousand donuts ago. When they step out, they see the very first thing that they see is Vic, is you holding this guy. And woman is just walking straight towards you guys, kind of doing that law officer, air of authority thing. But the more tubby officer already has his hand basically on his gun. Like he's definitely itching for something.
Hey, look, I work here, okay? He just threw our bartender through the bar, so I had to march his ass outside. You want to take him? Go ahead and do it. I'm sure our bartender will file charges as soon as she wakes up.
The tubby cop looks at the guy and is like, is that true? But before he can even finish that statement, the female officer looks at you, Idaho, and is like, were you here? Do you know what's going on?
Nope. I just rolled up.
She goes, okay. Can you step
This was
aside?
all on camera. There's plenty of cameras over there, and a lot of people in line getting this club. They've all got it on camera. They've got me marching his ass outside, and they've got me restraining him. I have not done anything to him yet other than restrain him and march his ass outside for throwing our bartender through a window.
She looks at you. She goes, I'll be with you in 1 second. She looks at you, Idaho. She goes, can you go? We need you to leave the area if you weren't involved in this.
I will step aside from these 2 gentlemen, and I kind of head toward the door, but I'm not leaving the area. I don't know what the fucking area is, but yeah, I step away from the 2 guys.
Okay, so you basically retreat away and kind of go over with the rest of the people in line.
Yeah, I'm kind of basically just stepping a little bit away and heading, I guess, toward the door of the club.
I'm being I'm being as loud as I can so that anyone filming gets all of this on tape. You know, anyone can hear. You know, get what I'm saying too.
At about this point, Harvey comes down and as he's walking by you, Idaho, he kind of clasps you on the arm and he's like, Robin really needs help.
Okay, so I'll head into the bar.
Okay. Harvey turns to the cops or the woman who immediately is like, do you know how? He's like, yes, I was here for the entire thing, and points and he goes, he is our doorman. This guy assaulted at least 2 people here, and he's like, we've gotten in contact with the owner. He wants to press charges. The kind of tubby officer is kind of like, well, we need to take a statement. And before he can even finish that statement, female officer cuffs her out, and she cuffs the longshoreman and shoves him over the bar or over the cop car, and Miranda rights and all of that, and starts going through his pockets. And Vic, you notice while she's doing this that he doesn't have anything on him. He doesn't have any ID. He doesn't have anything like that.
I have expected as much, but at this
load
point,
him.
he's their problem.
So they throw him into the cop car, and the bigger cop turns to you, Vic, and he goes, "Does somebody here need help?"
The guy you just sent away went in to go check on her. So let me go. I'll radio in. Like, Idaho, how is Robin? Is she doing okay? Does she need an ambulance? I'll put it that way. Does she need an ambulance?
So Idaho,
are asking.
Right.
When you get into the bar, the scene you see is like something out of a horror movie. Like, Robin doesn't look like she needs an ambulance. Robin looks like she is about 20 minutes away from needing a body bag. Like, when he sent her through the bar, like, she not only broke all of the glass in the mirror, she broke all of the bottles going through it. So she is cut to shit. She is in a bad way.
Here's out of game. Do we know if ghouls can go to the hospital like okay, or like if you go to the hospital, is there any like?
So
like would blood tests show anything?
So I would say that certainly Idaho would know this after his encounter with Clyde way back when in his solo session.
I have no recollection of that event.
Ghouls are both abnormally tough usually. Like, even if they are, the longer that they're alive, obviously the stronger they get. But even a new ghoul has a lot more durability than a normal human does. And on top of that, when subjected or given kindred vitae, can heal at a vastly accelerated rate. So could Robin theoretically go to the hospital to have her wounds tended? Sure, if you were going to put her through the experience of
okay. So that's where it becomes: are her wounds so bad that she has to go to our hospital, or can she just take vitae?
Well, Clyde was like spilling his guts everywhere when I found him and fixed him up.
Okay, Clyde was literally disemboweled when you found him. And
I'm doing.
Okay, then I don't think she should need an ambulance, but I'm just calling,
Yeah.
Cops are just checking to see if she needs an ambulance. How's Robin doing?
Okay, am I at Robin yet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm a little torn. I'm going to go ahead and think out my thoughts out, or say my thoughts out loud too, because I mean, the cops are here and we're trying to get this guy in trouble. Obviously, if Robin strolls out all fine, then they're going to be like, who assaulted who now? But I guess we can get him for the damage. So I don't know if we should really mess with letting the doctors get their claws on her. So I'm going to say, give me a sec. I'm not there yet, even though I am there now. And it's just me. So Al is not here either, right? She went
No,
back with
Al is still in the apartments, tending to Rhea.
Now, I know Martha's not here, but Michael ran inside the club, right? Or are we just kind of saying he's now out of the scene?
So what we basically said earlier was that when Michael ran in, Michael went after Teddy. That was Michael's big deal, was that he wanted to keep a hold of Teddy.
So he took off after, like, trying to catch him?
Yes, so he took off after Teddy and the other two.
Okay, that just basically gets Michael, makes it sort of a reason for why he's not here is what I'm getting at. Okay.
On the desk.
So, and I'm assuming that Robin is unconscious.
She is in and out of consciousness.
Okay. I'm going to try to real quick give her a little blood, see if she responds to it, because what I'm kind of thinking, both as the player and as Idaho, is, yeah, I did save Clyde that time, but she just got turned into a ghoul. Is this going to work? You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe she does need an ambulance. So I'm going to basically try to give her a little bit of blood and see if she responds positively to it.
Okay, so how much blood are you thinking you are going to give her?
I don't know, like enough for me to lose control of the beast. No. What's my hunger right now? I forgot.
You're at a 1.
Oh, well, let's just kind of take it slow. Let me give her a 1 real quick and see how she responds to that.
Okay, so how are you going to do this? How are you
I'm
actually
just
going
to do the whole wrist and shove my wrist on her mouth and let her start drinking?
So when you do that, when you gash your wrist open and hold it to her mouth, her eyes kind of flutter and she comes to, and after a moment, she like clamps down on your wrist and is like sucking the blood down. So as you do this, and you do gain 1 hunger from this, you watch as some of the lacerations start to close up, some of the more particularly bad ones kind of knit together.
Okay.
But even after she started to do that, she's still trying to drink from your wrist.
Sure. Yeah, I figured as much. I'm also assuming, since we're close to morning, that we had closed and everybody else is gone.
Yes, no, there's no...
Should have probably asked that before I fed her from my wrist.
No, there's a whole bar there watching.
I'm like,
she like slash your wrist, hold it over her face, and they're like, how is this helping?
Yeah. It's just performance art. Nothing's really happening here, everybody. It's all good. It's all good. So I'm going to basically say to Vic, I'm going to, go through the microphone, I guess, the radio, and just say, I don't think she's as bad off as we thought. I don't think she needs an ambulance. I think she's going to be okay.
Is she good enough to come out and make a statement? I'm sure the cops would love to hear her word.
She will be soon.
And in saying that, I'm kind of hoping that she comes out here bloodied. Like that way,
But if she's, if she's too messed up, they're going to insist putting her in an ambulance.
Right.
Right.
But a good sense of like bloodied and like just got thrown over a bar would
exactly. Let's see. Okay, so
great,
she's still drinking.
How far can we sell this?
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of that. So she's still drinking, and I'm gonna kind of start pulling away, and stand up and see if she stands up with me.
So when you pull your wrist away from her, she tries to hold on, but when you kind of stand up, she has no choice but to kind of get up off the bar. When she rolls off the bar, she kind of looks around and she kind of has like a drunken haze on her face.
Mm.
She looks at the bar and she's like, it's going to take so long to clean this up.
Don't worry, we got Clyde for that.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Clyde somewhere. Call cabins.
I'm gonna kind of give her try to help keep her steady, and I'm gonna look her over, make sure it doesn't like there's any like ribs poking out or legs at the wrong, you know what I mean, that she doesn't look like she's in need of critical assistance.
No, but she's still, even though a lot of the smaller lacerations have closed up, some of the larger ones have not completely closed. And even above and beyond all of that, I mean, before you came to her, like all of those lacerations, like she's covered in blood, in her own blood.
Yeah, so I'm gonna grab some towels and maybe try to clean her up a little. And I'm trying to gauge if she needs more of my blood before we go outside.
She seems ambulatory. Like she doesn't seem like she's completely, destroyed. She's stumbling a little bit.
I'm worried the cops are going to insist that she get in an ambulance. I'm going to go, you know what?
She also, and this is, so I will give you a bit of a clue here with your bloodhound. She reeks of alcohol.
Yeah, but I mean,
she's a bartender.
I'm not
thrown through all the bar bottles.
Yeah, she's working at a bar, and I mean, if they start trying to throw down that, yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, she reeks of alcohol. Got it. And I'm, like I said, I've got a towel. I don't know if it's close by and functioning, but if like the water gun is close, I'm trying to clean her up a little, but not totally, because I'm kind of on the same wavelength as Vic. If she walks out like fresh as a daisy, they're going to be like, who got assaulted? So I'm not trying to make it like she's too perfect, but I am trying to clean her up enough that she's not going to try to jump her into an ambulance. But so I'm going to clean her a little bit, and you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to just ask him. I'm going to go, how are you doing? Are you feeling all right? How do you feel right now?
She kind of gives kind of a weak nod, and she looks at you and gives kind of a sickly wan smile and goes, was doing better with your wrist at my mouth.
Yeah, I think you were too. You know what? Go ahead, knock yourself out. I'll give her another dot.
You gonna do it again?
Yeah, I'll get up to 3. Maybe I'll go crazy and kill all the cops in the citizen.
So
that's my job.
So when you gash your wrist open again, which always sucks for everybody who has to do this, there has been many a long-running kindred joke of how sexy it always is made to look in films, and they're like, it never is sexy. It always, you're slashing your wrist open. It sucks every time. When she drains another drop, with this, so most of her wounds have completely closed and completely healed as she is draining. And when she looks at you, it is difficult, Idaho, not to notice that she is definitely looking at you a little differently now.
Oh shit! Did I just blood bond her? Oh well.
Times.
The perks of being a vampire. I'm gonna be like, okay.
Sorry, Michael. I just blood bonded your ghoul.
Yeah, it'll fade after a while.
It's still good. Okay. It's still good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, damn it, shit. So now I'm gonna kind of take her, kind of like I'm helping her walk, and I'm going to kind of escort her outside.
I hate to say it, but this is like one time it may work in our favor because she'll she'll tell the cops exactly what you want her to. She's blood bonded.
Yeah.
So you and Lane, since Lane has been there this entire time, so you guys basically help her to walk out the.
And I'm going to kind of explain on the way. I'm going to be like, the guy that did this is outside. I didn't see them handcuff him, did I? I had already walked away.
No, you haven't seen.
Okay, the guy's outside. The cops are there. We're going to go out there and we're going to basically let the cops know that you were assaulted, right? We're trying not to cause any sort of scenes.
She kind of like gives you kind of a sleepy, dreamy nod, and she's like, "Then what's gonna happen?"
Well, then hopefully the cops are going to take that guy and he's going to get to have fun tomorrow when the sun comes up and he's in jail. Then we'll bring you back in here after the cops have left and we'll get you fully fixed up.
So you guys get out front and the cops see Robin and the EMTs like practically charge her with a gurney. Seeing all of the blood, and she kind of raises her hand. She's like, "I'm okay. I'm okay." And
it's probably not as bad as it looks. She got a head cut. Those are bleeders.
She got thrown through some Tabasco. We do a lot of Bloody Marys.
Some of that's Bloody Mary mix.
I'm not gonna say that. Let them kind of do the little look over her and everything. As long as they don't try to take her away, we'll be all right.
So after the EMTs kind of, Lane kind of gets them to back off with dirty looks and Robin kind of stumbles forward and the female officer is like, "What happened?" And Robin gives, with a lot of elucidation and a lot of elaboration, a story that basically comes down to she had a friend at the bar who he was picking a fight with. Vic stepped in. She tried to step in to defend Vic, and dude threw her across the bar. And yes, she would like to press charges.
Yeah, not to mention all the damage he caused.
To which the kind of tubby officer also looks at you, Vic, and is like, "And you said that the owner of the club was also going to want to press charges?"
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was Michael Starwell. They'll be in touch.
He goes, "Well, all right, we'll be in touch with all of you to get statements." And they throw the guy in the back of the cruiser, and as he is put into the back of the car, he gives you guys a big toothy smile and doesn't seem like he has a care in the world.
Fine. At this point, I don't either, because if he does anything from this point on, then he's the one breaking the masquerade, and it's him and the cops. That's So, I mean, we may have to deal with him later, but at least he's not making us be the ones to break the masquerade and have to fend for ourselves. So, at this point, like I'm happy that things just got settled in the now, and I'm gonna see where they go, where they take him, because I don't see him having a very good night.
Yeah, or a good morning. Aren't they going to want him to go up in front of a judge and he's going to be asleep inside a cell, seeming very unhuman-like? But I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is gonna be an interesting experience for him. So I don't know.
Speaking from experience, though, not all jails have windows. He could very well be in the central location, away from all light.
Oh, I'm not
Just
even thinking about the light.
Not even going to be able to wake him up.
He's not going to be
Oh,
alone all day long.
You're not
your
even
point
gonna
though
be able-
earlier was kind of humorous about him lighting up at the first sign of dawn, and I thought about it and I was like, well, last time I visited a jail. But yeah, I get your point.
So,
Or there might be a corrupt cop that lets them out as soon as they get there. We'll figure it out. We'll find out.
Yeah.
so with that, the remaining ghouls get to cleaning everything up. You can hear some Clyde from somewhere. God damn it!
If Robin still needs more blood to heal, I look. If my hunger is correct, it looks like I'm at 1, so I don't mind offering some blood to her as well.
So what I was going to ask, going kind of reversed on this, Al, what are you doing during all of this? I'm assuming that you're basically keeping tabs on all of this through the group chat and through conversations with text with Lane and whatnot. So what are you doing during all of this?
Probably just battening down the hatches, because my first question would have been, am I needed? And I'm pretty sure the answer would have been no. So
No, Michael shut down the actual club as soon as Robin.
right, but I'm talking about for
right.
the whole hullabaloo. I was not witness. I would have nothing to offer in the situation. So I'd probably just be getting everybody that's at the apartment, just check on them, make sure everybody's.
You can't make a statement saying you were there. You're the head bartender.
You have enough video. It doesn't matter. You have video. I'm just one more witness. It doesn't really matter. But I'd just be checking on everybody that had made it back to the apartments and try to get Ruby to bed.
Phrasing. Vic.
Bingo.
So Vic, what are you doing now?
Checking in on Robin. It seems like most everything else at the club is taken care of. Michael's gone after Teddy and the other from the Northeast. I'm Robin seems like the one that needs our help now. So,
well, Robin is currently following Idaho around like a duckling. So, and we're going to get to that in a minute.
Brutus is going to be jealous.
So, Idaho, what do you do?
I need to go hunt.
Well, I was gonna feed her and then go hunt with you if that helped, so we could both go hunt together.
So
that was kind of the plan.
I was about to say, what was my hunger at?
That way I could feed her and we could both take care of hunger at the same time.
Oh, I'm at 1.
Okay, so she's following me around like a puppy dog.
I am unbondable, so I don't think she can bond to me at all.
Okay, so let me real quick, because I think that's actually the other way around.
Yeah,
The reverse.
You
I can't be bonded.
Yeah,
unbondable as an advantage.
Was it an advantage or? I guess it was an advantage because that was the 5-point advantage that I took.
Yeah, it's so unbondable. You cannot be bloodbound. If you're ever short on cast, you can also sell your blood to alchemy.
Yeah, that's so. Do I know about blood bonding at this point?
I don't think it's ever come up, although I would probably assume that it's come up in at least casual conversation as a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Along the lines of, it is excessively pleasurable to drink from Kine for them. On that same note, it is also excessively pleasurable for them to drink of us and can be useful in terms of, but be careful if you do it too often, because if you do it too much, then.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about it, so I just can't remember if we talked about it ICly or not. If it was just like we discussed it out of game or not. But okay,
I think there was a conversation at quite a while beforehand that you were that you had thought that was against your character, that you did not want to do that.
Yeah, I also.
But
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, you also have the flaw of short bond. Or excuse me, that's not a flaw. That's an advantage.
That's an advantage for me. If I do get bonded, I don't stay bonded very long.
Yeah.
I remember choosing that one. So I would also imagine when I was talking to Michael and Al and Vic, when I decided to ghoul my dog, we probably also talked about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so I will basically realize shit. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I was concerned about her feel better. I'm going to go. So I'm basically just going to say, hey, Robin, you've had a rough night. I think it's time for you to go to sleep. So we're all going to hunker down here and get some rest. So why don't you go? Where has she been sleeping?
She has her own apartment.
At our apartments or her own apartment?
No, her own apartment.
I'll say, hey, why don't you go in to my apartment and go crawl in bed and just have a nice little nap till you feel better.
She goes, oh, okay. Are you going to be there later?
Yeah, definitely.
I choose you.
Nice.
She's like, okay, I'll see you there in a little while. And she kind of hobbles off. And when she hobbles off, Lane kind of, as she's walking by, she kind of shoots you a look, Idaho. She's like, be careful.
You're telling the wrong guy to be careful. Yes, I will be careful. Grab nose. We're not kidding. Yeah, and then I will. I guess I don't know if you need to hunt anymore now, Vic, because you didn't give her any blood. But we can go hunt.
But does she still need blood to heal? Like this, is she still in a bad spot? Like the.
She still has some cuts and lacerations, but she's if we're talking like a purely game mechanics thing, she's probably like at a superficial damage 1.
Okay.
So she'll be a lot better.
If that's the case, then okay.
She'll be a lot better after Idaho gives her some more blood here in a little while.
Yeah, maybe I'll just turn her into a vampire and throw her at Samantha.
Then I guess I mean with what time I have left, with not a whole lot else to do, I'll go down to the bar and help clean up. I know that's a big task. They probably need some heavy lifting around. So
okay, so you're gonna head down to the bar. Idaho, what is your final thing to do for this evening before the?
I'm gonna go look around, see if I can find anybody to chew on, because now I'm super hungry.
Robin is standing by the door.
Like, all right, I'll feed off of you, Robin. Come over here. You've got plenty of blood in you.
So roll 3 red, 3 white.
Nothing happened.
Is the API not working?
Oh no.
Okay, I will be right back. I will go restart the API again.
Yup.
Yay. Craziness. I gotta say, I honestly did not even think about that blood bond thing. I completely forgot. So that was.
As soon as you did it, I was like, ooh.
I like how you rolled for me. Thanks for making me fail twice.
Well, you get it out of the way right now.
It's true. Get my fail rolls out of the way.
Okay, so Idaho, when you head out, there are still outside of the club, there are a lot of people who are kind of meandering around, who are, showing each other videos, people who are doing TikToks and Instagram and all of that outside the club, and one couple sees you and is like, "Hey, don't you work here?"
Why, yes, I do.
They were like, "Man, does this kind of thing happen a lot? Can we interview you?"
Interview me? Yeah, let's go somewhere more private.
So they are all about it. Like they think that they are getting the like the scoop of the century, and that they're going to get so many hits, and they're going to be so popular. And they both keep complimenting you and telling you how handsome you are, and how how gorgeous you are. And so when you get there to this little apartment that they have that's not too far away, it is not terribly difficult to get what you want from them, to kind of
Nice.
make the situation a little more intimate than perhaps they had originally intended, and to get things going. So, how much are you going to drink off of each of them?
Well, I mean, I'll just take one from each.
Okay, so you're just going to take one from each. So when you drink one from each, but by the time that they are done, like they are both like, can this be a weekly thing? What's your number? Where do you live? Can we, when's the next time that we can see you? We'll be at the club tomorrow. Can we hang
awesome.
out?
Great.
Like they have really, like they've gone from being, shall we say, interested in the interview into maybe interested in some intercourse.
All right. You're on your vampire period. It happens once a month. Like every time someone sucks blood from you, like it just like they automatically just like. Just kidding.
You know what? Let's just feed them both a couple of times real quick to bond them to me. Oh yes, I'll just be very agreeable. I don't mind trading numbers with them either. I mean, if they're a possible solid hookup, I'm definitely down with that.
Food
make sure you guys frequent the club.
I'm going to list them as the TikTok couple.
Jack and Jill.
Now, one is called Two Girls and the other is One Cup. With their little dog, Peanut.
I'm going to feed Peanut to Brutus.
And their cat, Goatsy.
The cat's name is Tub Girl, sir.
And the hamster's name is Lemon Party.
No, the hamster's name is Richard Gere.
How many bingo card slots are we marking off?
A lot. Damn, we just hit like a run right there.
My goodness.
Everybody knows the story about Richard Gere.
That was a bingo run right there.
It's not shocking at all. It's not like Harvey Keitel throwing his dick around. Okay, so at this point, everyone retires to Idaho. Are you retiring to your apartment where Robin is waiting for you?
I could. When was the last time I slept there? Think it's been long enough?
Yeah, I would say it's been.
Sure, why not? I'm going to bring Brutus in there too, though, to protect me.
So.
I'll take it when we all lay down. I'll take a picture and send it to Samantha. No, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Idaho's back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
So,
You got to keep me laughing tonight, because if you don't, I'm going to fall asleep on you. So good.
Yeah, we're both
great.
exhausted.
This is good.
Yeah.
Idaho is trying to get somebody killed. All right, so with that, everybody, the sun comes up, and everybody descends into sleep, except of course for Al, who is awake a little longer than everybody else with Ruby. So, sun comes up on a cold, dreary, snow squally day in Philadelphia. Everybody is back to wearing their big, thick coat. Everybody is back to dressing like it's back in the middle of winter on a day that is below freezing. Al, you wake up, of course, before everybody else. When you do, what do you do? What is your first action?
Although I don't have Bloodhound, would my sense of smell be heightened enough to know when Ruby's on her cycle?
So the answers to that are would be yes, but no.
So yes,
but she's not.
But she's not.
Okay.
That's what I translated anyway.
Actually, the more realistic answer is yes, but she doesn't have a cycle because she's dead.
Oh, that's on Ruby's. Oh, shit. I think I was just thinking of Lane. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lane, yes. If we're talking about Lane, yes, you would be able to know that, and even without your sense of Bloodhound, given the fact that you guys share an apartment together, it would.
I mean, there would be other logical.
Yeah, I was going to say
clues.
there would be things. Yeah, there are things left around.
Okay. But yeah, if she's not, then I think I would just end up checking in on her and Ruby, having, seeing if she needs anything for breakfast.
Ruby is fine. She is far more interested in you. Lane seems a little surly is not the correct word, but close. She is very grumpy about what happened and about the fact that that Robin was attacked at the club. That things have escalated to the point now where the people who are coming into the club now feel free enough to not just target the vampires, but also to target the club staff during club hours in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like she's kind of like, at some point this moves from acceptable risk into the situation where something needs to actively be done about it. She goes, I don't know what that something is.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. I think that we should have a staff meeting, all hands on deck, all hands, and not only, check on Robin and her needs, but come up with a game plan, because you're absolutely right. There was always acceptable risk, but now people feel like they can just wave their dicks around and they're not going to do it up in here.
She's like, she kind of laughs and she goes, what's funny is, she says, I feel more aggrieved about the fact that Robin got hurt last night than I did about the fact that that one asshole put a gun to my head. She said, at the time when that all happened, she goes, and I mean, she goes, we all ended up incarcerated because of that. She goes, but somehow that seemed less personal.
Yeah.
She said that seemed like that. She goes. Maybe I'm wrong, but she seemed like that was kind of part of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got found out. That's kind of what happens when you get found out. She goes, but this was these assholes just didn't care, or at least he didn't.
No, you're absolutely right. But we need to definitely have a game plan. Not only to prevent this from happening next time, but how we're going to treat these guys going forward.
She goes, I definitely want to be there for any meetings about this. To which Ruby very chipperly is like, me too.
Of course, dear. I pat her on the head.
Vic, when you wake up, Harvey and Romano are already kind of milling around the apartment. What is your first action? What do you do? What do you say?
I guess I'm just checking to see if there's anything that needs to be done or anything that I missed while I was sleeping, or
Harvey says, well, he goes, I've got some bad news.
What's that?
And he says, our friend was basically processed in and processed almost immediately out.
Figured he had some connections. We've got some too. Maybe we can call and figure out how he was let out so early. I mean, we are still pressing charges, so I mean, it's not like there won't be charges filed against him, right?
Harvey goes, I have no idea. He goes, I have no idea. He goes, he goes, the only thing I did first thing when I woke up was to log on to the local Philadelphia, county website and look up and see, who was taken into processing and whatnot like that. That's public records. And he goes, processed in 408, processed out 452.
That's a fucking world record.
All right, we might have to talk to our police contact and see who it was that was helping them. Maybe I can take care of that on the side. Be a solo session where I go after the dirty cops. I just take them out one by one.
The
Northeast vampires will have no one to hang on to. I'll take out all their police contacts.
Romano is like, is there anything that we can do? Like how? Like he's like, I mean I know you guys can fix Robin. He's like, but is there anything we can do for Robin? Is there anything that we can do for the bar to try to get it set up and running? He's like, I know we're kind of, some of us work during the day to try to get things up and running so that the bar's not down, but he's like, it's still a mess in there. He's like, and customers are going to want to know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, both of you are doormen, so if the three of us can get some stuff done before the door opens, that's fine. But I know we're going to be needed at the door when, closer to time. But if you feel you're needed, or you feel like you can help out, I mean, that the more the merrier.
Romano grabs Harvey and is like, hey, we're going to go and pitch in a little bit tonight and try to do something about the bar to try to get it up and running quicker. And Harvey is there out the door. Idaho, when you wake up, you are
hungry.
Being strapped
in, actually, is what I was going to say.
Was I supposed to rouse?
Not yet. We're not
Okay.
there
yet.
Okay.
And then
I just roused when he said I woke up, so I was just like, I woke
Me
up,
too.
I roused.
So Brutus is laying across one of your feet and is basically keeping an eye on the door. Robin is laying like curled up like right next to you. To say it's intimate is kind of an overstatement. She definitely kind of like made like you were a giant teddy bear and was like hugging you all night. But was obviously cold because she threw a blanket over you and is like hugging on the outside of the blanket. Brutus seems very confused.
Yeah.
Welcome to my Poor world. Guy.
So I guess
I thought I got to hump this leg.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna, get up. I mean, I'm not even worried about not waking them up. I mean, I don't care. Just gonna get up.
When you get up, Robin is immediately like up and like following you around. She's like, "Hey, how are you doing? Did you sleep okay during the day?"
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
Do you sleep? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So how are you? How are you feeling?
She goes, I got some places that are, that are a little uncomfortable. She goes,
you can massage him with your tongue.
Oh.
Yeah. She goes, I would probably feel a little better if you wanted to give me some more blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, maybe, and I'm not going to. So let's head on down and find everybody. And I'm just gonna grab Brutus and just walk off. Just go. Let's go get in. But get some other people around to protect you.
She like still follows like right after you.
Cold-blooded.
So
I'm just like, how long is it gonna take for this shit to wear off? Oh my god.
So where do you all meet up? And while you were deciding where you're going to meet up, I guess Al needs to do housekeeping as well. Vic is fine. Idaho
Damn it.
Alice is hungrier. Vic was fine. Idaho was hungrier.
I figured I was just going to be helping out Romano and Harvey cleaning up until I was called for and needed.
Okay, so you're basically heading back to the bar.
I thought that's where we were. Unless we were all at the apartment and they headed to the bar. In which case I would have headed there with them. I would have just gone with them.
Okay, so then shall we just say that everybody is meeting at the bar?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. All right. Then the question, of course, becomes: what is the next action for the coterie? What are you guys setting out to do now? What is the next big thing to handle?
Is the bar or the club even in a state that we can open it?
So the only place that's actually damaged is Robin's bar. Like the rest of the club is perfectly fine.
Yeah, at this point we should have just had that area cleaned up and then just roped off, have that bar closed for the night.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the general circumstances for that bar are going to be. Is that Robin will move to being Ruby's bar back for the night, and then the Lane and Rhea are back over at their bar with Rhea a little worse for wear, but doing generally okay. Clyde doing maintenance work on the upstairs bar, which for once he seems actually happy to do.
I'll let Al know about the information that Romano and Harvey let me know, and say, and I don't know how long of a shot it is, but I don't know if your cop friend can, maybe get something figured out, maybe even start an internal affairs investigation over why someone had no ID, had no nothing. Got released so quickly.
So we're basically sharing all this information now together. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Say, well, that means we have his picture and at least an alias.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of tough because Michael's not here, but
I can at least give Nolte a reach out and see what we can get on this guy's release and why the hell that happened the way it did.
well, before we do that, let me just point something out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm assuming now I've kind of been filled in on what happened and what I missed as far as these people showing up.
Yeah, I would have filled you in on what happened the night before.
Or we could just say it's happening right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, it's kind of tough without Michael here, but I guess we'll soldier on. Basically, we just got hosed by those Northeast Anarchs. We kept
yes
their
and no.
people, well, we kept their people here to draw them to us, which I don't really think that was the best approach, but so be it. And the two people we kept against their will are gone. And Robin got her shit fucked up. The bar got fucked up. How did we get any sort of positive out of this?
The only positive I'll say I got out of it is it really seemed like they came over here with the full intention of doing everything they could to make us break the masquerade. And
Really?
at least it did at the bar to me. It seemed like the way this guy was interacting with me, like he wanted me to start a very public scene very violently.
But he threw Robin through the freaking bar. If anybody violated the masquerade, it would have been him.
Yes, but he did it in such a way that, although violent, didn't seem completely inhuman. If I remember the way Knox described it, like it seemed like it was definitely violent, but it wasn't to the point of like seeming something that was superhuman. Like it just seemed like a big strong guy, like just throwing a skinny girl through the bar.
I believe the phrase I used was excessively violent. Yes. Supernaturally violent.
No. Yeah.
Okay. So all right. So they
Roadhouse.
didn't get us to violate the masquerade, which is great because that's something we aspire to every night.
But even when I took him outside the club, like he seemed like inside the club, he was more than willing to go outside and take this fight outside. But then as soon as I got him outside, he refused to go anywhere outside of public view. So it seemed like their reason for coming here was not only just to like get there, but also to make us break the masquerade and make us look like complete and utter fools publicly. And at least we prevented that from happening.
Right. I mean, it seems like they're making us look like complete and utter fools within the vampire community. They seem to be succeeding quite well in that regard. What I'm getting at is I'm really not interested in going on a killing spree. But right now, the Northeast Anarchs are somebody I would very much consider killing.
Mm-hmm.
They have me more upset than the Cam and Shaw.
And I mean, we tried to like do this whole vampire UN, trying to bring them in and to prove to them that we are trying to be representative of everybody. We've tried the whole Greenpeace bullshit. We are done.
They basically shut the door on that before we even tried to open it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'd say fuck them.
The problem though is now we played our hand, which is kind of why the thing we did really wasn't that effective. We kept their people here, and their people are now gone, and we got nothing out of it. We didn't harm them at all. So
if nothing else, we made a really good impression to Teddy. Like we treated him like a fucking king the whole fucking. I know. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like that.
I get it. I mean, we've had a very interesting
go over
history
there
with
and
Teddy. I mean, we
he's
saved
gonna
his
be
ass.
like Clyde, like instead of complaining about cleaning up, he's gonna be complaining about all the good stuff he had while he was hanging out at our club.
I think it's awesome.
At least they gave me fucking egg sandwiches. I don't know what the fuck you do.
It's hard to come by, man. But, and I really don't, think that was a very effective way to go about it. And I wouldn't really want to pull Teddy into the middle of this.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not
But,
saying that.
I understand. Totally understand. But this guy that came in and threw Robin through the bar, in my opinion, he needs to see the final death. So
I'm right there with you. Yeah, if we can find a way to track his ass down, I'll be happy to give it to him.
Right. So if we contact Nolte and start asking questions about this guy, and then in a couple of nights he shows up dead, we might be suspects. So
you know how we kill people. We don't kill people and leave bodies. I mean, like we either put them in the furnace or let them turn to ash. So there's no bodies for the cops to find.
I mean, yeah, and I think this whole pressing charges thing was just kind of fun to screw around with last night, but I don't think we need to mess around with the human system. Their court of laws or their people, nothing. We should just take care of this shit ourselves.
No, we had to mess around with it because they showed up.
Exactly.
And that was the only way the way to resolve the issue. Had the police not showed up, I was going to try and find a way to get his ass into the alley, and I was going to kill his ass.
Nice.
He was going to be dead and in the furnace or something. But that opportunity never made itself.
So if I'm going to reach out to Nolte, other than why and how he was processed out so fast, what else do we want to know?
I mean, what are we possibly going to gain from talking to Nolte? Nolte might say a lawyer showed up, a bondsman showed up, the cop let him out. If we find out the name of a crooked cop, is that going to lead us to this guy, or is that just another person that is out there that is being bought? What's our best way of finding?
It might be another person that's out there that's being bought, but if we can start eliminating all of their their little assets one by one, that's a cop asset they no longer have, and a cop asset is a pretty big fucking deal, So the next time they come around here and want to try and fuck around and they get arrested, maybe they won't have somebody to fucking get them out of jail,
right?
So,
or we call in all the troops and we head to the Northeast and we just kill the fucking Northeast anarchs.
Yeah, I kind of like that better.
I do like that idea. However,
we've been playing this so diplomatically. We really have. We've tried to be smooth and calm under Michael's leadership, and I've respected that. But to a certain point, I'm sick of it.
Here's
if they want to come and take a shit on our carpet, then we're gonna go up there with the carpet and rub their face in it.
Right.
I think the one thing that has worked against us is we have a very public place for our coterie. I mean, we have the club and our the apartments right across the street. Do we even know where the Northeast Anarchs stay? Do we know where to find them?
I don't know. Do we? GM.
We've never heard of a location for them.
Well,
so that would take some hunting. The only connection that I know to the Northeast Anarchs is Sabine.
Right. And now the Northeast Anarchs know that we know some shit and we're pissed off. So they're going to make themselves even harder to find. I doubt their little half-bloods or their thin bloods are going to be strolling in here tonight.
And that's kind of one of the reasons I half agreed with keeping their little ghouls hostage, is because that was kind of
Slade walks by.
That was the only way to draw them in. We don't know where they are.
You didn't hear his 12 chains rattling?
Is Slade actually here?
Yes, Slade is hanging out at Ruby's bar.
Well, let's ask Slade if he knows where the Northeast Anarchs hole up.
Actually, yeah, he might be another connection.
Slade, come over here, Slade.
So I guess the question would have been where you guys were having this discussion originally to begin with.
Oh, in my mind, we were just like standing in another part of the club just by ourselves. I don't know, where were we?
Probably.
I mean,
we would probably. We would
So-
probably at least have checked out the fucked up bar and made sure things were roped off. So I kind of imagined we were by the fucked up bar.
Yeah.
That's fair. So at this point, yes, the bar is open. People are starting to trickle in. Slade comes in and heads for Ruby and, I guess for tonight, Robin's bar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Slade had to walk by us to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So him walking in, let's just hope that we would have noticed it, because basically I'm asking him to come and join us over here where we are.
So when you beckon him over, he kind of scrolls over, kind of slaps you on the shoulder. He's like, "What's up? How's it going? You need some party favors tonight? Anybody need some party favors? I got your party favors tonight." He's like, "We're looking to party. I've elevated the party."
You have party favors for us?
He's like,
Yeah, I didn't
I
think
mean,
so. Yeah, as you might can tell from the fucked up situation at the bar here, things aren't as rosy as they could be.
he goes, "Yeah, I heard." He goes, "Word fucking travels quick."
Yeah. So
Funny about that.
Mr. Helpful, and I will call him that, Mr. Helpful.
He goes, "I am Mr. Helpful." He goes, "Whatever you need, I will help you with. We got it."
Mm.
Yes, because I need something from you, Slade. This is very important.
He goes, Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need. I got you."
I need to know where the Northeast Anarchs call home.
He goes, "I take it back. I done got you."
Mm-hmm. That's
No,
what I
why-
thought,
why
little
don't
man.
Why don't you have?
I was waiting for you to
that
back
one?
out.
He goes, "This is not a personal or even a professional rejection. It is a lack of knowledge rejection."
And you probably could. You might be able to help us find that out.
You know who would know? The driver. What was his name? I'm trying to remember the driver's name. The driver that first came to pick up, and we knew him before.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying.
What was his name? Storyteller.
I believe that was Alan.
Mm.
Alan Parsons.
I don't. That name doesn't sound familiar. I thought it was like
That
Ralph or is it Raphael or I don't know.
Hold on. Let me consult
Ralph
the list.
seems to sound right. I don't know why.
I want it to be Alan Parsons.
I am.
It was a guy that was hanging from a noose at 10 Toes at the.
It was Alan.
Alan. Okay, he was hanging from a noose at 10 Toes,
That's
and
how we met
somehow that's how we met him, and that's how he somehow he became the ghouls' chaperone. So when we were holding the ghouls,
Yeah.
he was the one that originally
that.
showed up
Oh,
to
yeah.
pick them up. So
So-
he should know where.
Yeah, and he was driving. Did we find him hanging from the hook and we brought him back from the dead and he rejected our offer for employment? That's the guy?
Mm-hmm.
Say, all right, so now that we got that figured out, say, well, Slade, it's possible you might know people out there. Your information network might be able to help us figure that out. And Alan, as you might recall, because Slade was here when that happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Came to pick you guys up. So I'm assuming he might know.
He goes, Alan came to pick them up. He did not come to pick me up.
Yeah, he was.
Right.
He came there with a slate.
Alan came to pick them up. Exactly.
librarian.
Totally understand. So you know anything about Alan? Maybe Alan might be able to help us out.
He goes, I know the tree that you're barking at, and it's you're barking at the wrong tree. And he goes, Alan doesn't work for the Northeast Anarchs. Alan has worked for the Northeast Anarchs, but Alan doesn't work for the Northeast Anarchs. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah,
We're not-
Look,
we're not
that's
saying
not the
we're-
point.
We're just saying he might know where to find them. That's all we care about. We don't care about Alan's involvement. We don't think he was necessarily involved, or we'd be going after Alan. We're not going after Alan. We want to know if he knows where the Northeast Anarchs are so we can go after them.
Lay it all out. I mean, he had to have an address where to drop them off. He was their taxi.
Slade goes, now, he goes, Alan has made. Let me start this over again. Alan is one of those cats who is very, very present when you need him to be present, and when you don't need him to be present, he's not present at all. He is made. He tells everybody that he got a little too close to the city's business, as he calls it.
Yeah, we know all about that. We're the one that brought him back from the brink from that
He says,
whole
well,
disaster.
he says, so Alan doesn't have a place that he stays, as far as I know. Alan tends to basically run that taxi 24/7.
Okay, he doesn't run it 24/7, and there has to be a way to contact the taxi, or he has no business.
He goes, well, if you're looking for a way to if you're looking for who contacts him, he says, I would probably look at the big people behind, which means you need to be looking for whoever the Cinder Institute is. He goes, now me, he goes, I know a little bit about the Cinder Institute, and he goes, your girl Ruby, she's probably got the better in here.
All right. So if you are able to figure anything out, that would be a lot better than a no.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind.
He goes, he goes, for you, I will keep my ear to the ground. I will be like a beagle. I will have my nose to the ground. I will be looking for whatever you need.
And like I said, we're not after Alan.
Yeah.
He's not the target. We just want to know if he knows some information.
Right. Okay. Thanks. Have fun tonight.
He goes, oh, I will. Is there anything I can get you? Is there anything any of you need? Is there any product that you need? Is there anything I can hook up somebody to hook up with you for hooking up later? You know what I'm saying. He's like, can we do this?
I'll let you know. You got it. We'll let you know.
Practicing for his full-time pimp days.
He's like, oh, I am always a full-time pimp. I've been a full-time pimp since I was this tall.
You know what I imagine, Zach? I know
it's the little brother that grew up. Sorry.
I know probably no one else has seen Euphoria, at least as far as we have, but I'm just imagining Slade is like the grown-up Ashtray.
That's what I said. The little brother who grew up. Ashtray. The drug dealer's little brother that grew up. He goes by
His name is Ashtray.
Euphoria.
But this kid's like 12 and
he's like 12. Oh my god.
It's exactly Slade if Slade was 12.
Nice.
So now I have a visual whenever we talk about Slade. Once he's out of earshot, have we truly exhausted every one of our NOS contacts? Like would what about going on the opposite, not just looking for contacts, but also like, even if what if I could get my hands on a tracker? We get one of those Northeast fucks in here, pop a tracker in their pocket while Ruby's serving them, then we see where GPS leads us.
Yeah, I think that would be great if they show back up, which I would be very shocked if they do. But if they do, awesome. And anytime I want to know something,
Teddy might show up. The librarian will never come back.
Maybe Teddy will. But anytime I want to know something, I always think of calling Sonny. So that was going to be my next step.
That's when I brought up that. And then, maybe this is a way to enlist Slade as a little bit of a spy. Because he's going to be running into all kinds of people in his business, especially some of those Northeast fucks.
Right. Well, that's what I.
So we could give him. Well, I'm saying we could give him a tracker as well, and whoever sees somebody first.
I don't know if we can trust him enough to pass off a tracker, though. He might.
Yeah, we may not be able to. But one thing I'm thinking, I don't think of Slade as a great resource in this, but I think this is a good way to kind of test him and see if he does anything at all that's beneficial to us. Because enough of these, I can get you whatever you want.
Yeah, no, put him to the test.
If he can actually get us something that we
Yeah.
ask for, then he
Eventually,
can
I
prove
think
himself useful. Then maybe we can trust him with trackers. But
exactly. If he doesn't make himself useful, then I say he stops coming to the club.
for all we know, he's putting a tracker on the dog and he's leading on us on a goose chase.
Okay, so do we pick one avenue and all of us focus our resources on that, or do we split this into a couple of projects?
I mean, as far as Sunny, I can just call her. I mean, I wasn't going to go there or anything, so I can just call her
Okay.
and see. She's probably
Cool.
not going to have anything for me. I mean, I imagine the Nos know where the Northeast Anarchs are. It's going to be a question of whether or not she'll tell me and how much it'll cost.
Yep.
Right.
The next question, though, is since we're talking about very serious action without our leader present, is what are we willing to do without Michael here and sanctioning us to do something? So tonight might just be planning and investigation. I don't see us.
Is it better to act and apologize, or
You
wait
mean
and ask
ask for
permission?
forgiveness instead of permission?
Yeah.
I would agree with that in a lot of cases, but when it comes to us formally, like if we knew where the Northeast Anarchs were and we were going to formally go attack them right now, I wouldn't do it without.
No, not
his
if we were
sanction.
gonna make the assault, but
For two reasons. One, that's just not the kind of thing you ask for forgiveness. And if we're going to go attack them, having Michael with us.
You want to have a
yeah, I
full
wasn't
party.
so much saying go the whole mile of it, marching out, just more like the investigating and trying to just get the location.
I mean, we can jump in the hearse and I can put on some NWA and raise up the bass and roll down the windows and let's drive through the northeast part of town, see if we get any attention.
Right.
But yeah, I think there's certain things we can do some stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and just dial up Sunny.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so you're going to call Sunny. Vic, what are you going to do?
Start printing out flyers to hang out on the Northeast. Come to the beacon.
Oh,
Nice.
We go flyer the Northeast.
Dude, that's a great idea. Actually, I love that.
Right there
Al,
with you.
What are you gonna do?
I would probably I'd probably very quickly go online and go ahead and order like a few GPS trackers, have them overnighted so that they're hopefully here by tomorrow. Just as a tech to have on hand. And honestly, I'd probably be after I checked on the bars, I'd probably be helping Vic. I'm like, I like this idea. Let's go
Oh man,
fuck some shit up.
Northeast.
Freaking love it. I love it. Let's print out the guy's picture from the.
Oh yeah.
Is this your shit?
Have you?
Oh
seen
no. Instead of even doing flyers for the beacon, let's just do that. Let's just do like wanted more information. Call this number if you've seen this guy.
They're not gonna rat out their own.
No,
they won't. But they hang out. That's their area. So that just puts it out the whole public in their area.
Obvious. We've already played our
Yes.
our hand. Subtlety's kind of out the door.
That's good.
No, that seems like the best idea. Don't.
But
not
no,
flyers.
I'm just saying. I'm saying both.
Go to
Like
the
you do
security-
your
go to
thing.
the
I'll take
security
care of that
camera.
advertising.
Just
Go
print
through
the
security
picture
camera
off of
feed.
the county
A
jail
good picture
website.
of him. Yep.
Just get the picture of his mugshot.
Oh yeah, if he has a mugshot, we'll take his
He
mugshot.
has it on
Just
the
be
county
like,
jail site.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wanted for more information. Just print them off. I'll print up a bunch of them, and that's what we're doing. We're gonna go flyer the Northeast side.
Let's do. All right.
Fuck yeah!
This seems like an appropriate time.
Activism.
Yeah.
We'll be back in 10.
All right, guys, we're taking a bio break. Go get a drink, go get a smoke, do what you gotta do. We'll be back in just a few. Thank you. There's my poetry for the evening. All right, welcome back everybody to the playground. Thanks for joining me. I'm Pixie Phoenix. I'm a full-time variety streamer here on Twitch. I like to typically play MMO games, fun Steam games, and on Monday nights I host our Vampire the Masquerade live action sessions, Philly by Night. Tonight is session 50. So, big applauses around. I'm joined tonight by Nox, our storyteller, Scott, who plays Idaho, Zack plays Vic, and I'm your Alice. And we are continuing our evening.
Welcome back, everybody, to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle, Philly by Night. When we left off, the coterie members tonight were about to head in two separate directions, at least temporarily. Idaho was going to make a call to Sunny for some information, while Alice and Vic decided to come up with some flyers that they are going to distribute. And we will get to that in a moment. First, Idaho, when you call Sunny, there's about 2 rings, and she picks up. And she's like, hey, what's going on?
Hey, not sure if you guys have heard yet about all the shit that went down here last night.
Yeah, we heard.
Yeah. Well, now that the shit has hit the fan, it's kind of in our interest to make sure that the people that did this pay for it and that this kind of thing doesn't happen again in the future. The problem is we don't know where these people are. So I was wondering if you might be able to assist us with that.
She goes, I mean, I'm always willing to trade.
Awesome.
She goes, so I have 2 questions. She goes, okay, that's a lie. I have 3 questions.
He's honest.
She says, 1, do you know why a Camarilla lawyer would have already been waiting at the police station to bail the guy who assaulted your club?
Oh, I don't know. My guess would be that the Cams and maybe the Northeast Anarchs are working together because we are a threat to the Camarilla. That'd be my guess, but I'm just guessing.
She goes, okay, well, she goes, we're friends. So, well, I'm not going to divulge anything further. She goes, I can assure you that the Camarilla and the Northeast Anarchs hate each other about as much as you hate the Camarilla. So that's not really the thing.
Interesting. So you're friends with the lawyer that let them out?
She goes, no, we had eyes on the lawyer.
Who did you just said we're, oh, you mean you and me are friends?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. I mean, if you want to give me that lawyer's information, I'd be happy to ask him why they were there waiting.
She says, we're hunting them ourselves.
Well, if I can be of any assistance.
She goes, well, we'll get to that. She goes, do you know where Mariah is?
Oh, God. Who's Mariah?
The Scourge.
Oh, I'm never going to think of her as Mariah. Never.
Joan Jett.
She's the Scourge or she's Joan Jett. No, in fact, I have not seen her or heard a peep out of her in quite a while. Which is something that might be comforting, but it kind of worries me.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not there.
I mean, I could put Slade on the end of a fishing pole and drive around town and see if I find her. I
She
actually
goes,
say that. I actually say that as a joke.
Sonny snorts and says he'd fall off your fishing pole. Not enough meat for the hook. She goes, maybe enough gold chains, though.
Yeah. You got to get the fish's attention with the sparklies.
She goes, then the only other question that I have for you that would be worth any sort of information is, and I'm sure you don't know, but I'll ask nonetheless. Why is your cohort Vic being queried by the Hecata?
I am.
Some kind of New York thing. I don't know. That definitely sounds something we should look into.
Great.
She says we have been able to catch some individual messages by some of their members who are not nearly as careful as they should be with their emails and with their texts, referencing your cohort and whether or not he will be able to be usable as leverage, though what that's about, we're not sure.
Out of game, aren't the Hecate from New York?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, that's why my brain first jumped to that. So yeah, no idea. I mean, I'm not above looking into that either. I mean, do you know who it was who was sloppy with their emails?
She goes, I'd rather not say.
Okay, I mean, I guess you just want me to find out to give you the information, but yeah, I'm very curious to know what's going on.
She goes, it would have been a bit of a coup for me if you had known. But she goes, currently, the only thing that I can really tell you about the Northeast Anarchs is that they are not like you or Threnody, which is to say, the Anarchs of West Philadelphia run their operations out of a nightclub. Threnody normally runs her operations out of a bar or an ice house. They don't. She says wherever their source of, wherever their havens are, or haven, if they choose to group together, so they are not operating out of some publicly accessible location.
Mm-hmm. So are you telling me that you guys don't know, or you don't know, or I need to come up with something to trade you to find out?
She says the short answer is we have an idea. The longer, more convoluted answer is they don't tend to stay to one locale. They tend to stay very mobile.
Yes, I know the benefits of that.
The other part about that being that she says, not sure how valuable this is, so I'll throw this morsel towards you. She goes, not entirely sure about how united of a front they all are, or about how much they stay actually together.
Mm-hmm. Well, they certainly have appeared united when they've basically declared war on us, even though we tried to be unified with them.
And she says, well, they're Reese, the Baron of Northeast Philly. She is a bit of a commanding presence among them.
Mm-hmm. So the head of the snake, so to speak.
Maybe, or maybe just the one holding the leash.
Well.
Ajax is the most that we've seen about Ajax is that he tends to be the first one in the fight, the last one out, if that tells you anything about him. She says, but we have almost no information about where they came from or about what their operations are, what they do. She goes, and worse, well, we know about Reese and we know about Ajax. The other two, Genevieve and Cyrus, we have less than no information about.
Wow. Interesting. So
she goes, that makes some amount of sense, as Genevieve is one of us. So she probably tricks of the trade.
Yeah. Well, again, if you want to tell me where you guys have narrowed your search or anything, that would help us and getting more information for you in the bargain.
She goes, the only thing that I can tell you is that your friend Sabine ends up hosting them rather regularly, although we're pretty sure that's just because she's in their territory.
Yeah, that would have been my guess as well. I mean, she's certainly one of the people we were going to go to for some info. But, all right. Well, if you come up with anything, I'd love to hear it.
She goes, and of course, you know that if you come up with anything, I will be more than grateful and happy to exchange information.
Definitely. I look forward to it. Thanks a lot, Sonny.
She goes, be careful.
Yeah, will do. Okay. So then I'm just going to go find where they are doing their arts and crafts so I can share the information with them.
We're probably in the office. Guessing it's where the computer and the printer are.
Mm-hmm. So, what is your next course of action? What are you going to do?
Actually, after I hang out with Sonny, I don't know that this is going to give us any results, but just for shits and giggles, I'm going to actually take a little walk through the bar or the club before I go back to Vic Canal. Because who knows, maybe somebody did show up.
Yeah.
So, when you, Idaho, are walking through the bar, you notice that there are a lot more kind there. It seems like there are a lot people who are kind of leering and looking around, who are kind of like, ooh, what's the next thing that's going to happen here? Some of the regulars seem pretty annoyed by the whole situation. There seem to be a lot of tourists.
Well, I guess they inadvertently gave us some business. But no Teddy or anything like that?
There is no Teddy. The only Thin Blood who is hanging at the bar is Slade, who is talking with Ruby. Robin is holding up her end of the bar, doing pretty well. When she sees you, she is very quick to
No, I'll give her a big old wave and carry on. So I'm just going to go find Vic and Al.
Okay. When you meet up with Vic and Al, they have printed off a sheaf of flyers looking for information about, and so the question is, what's next? Where are you going to go with these? What are you going to do?
Well, I want to share with them the info I got from Sonny so that they're on the
Okay.
same page. So tell them about, apparently it was a Camarilla lawyer who was waiting, but maybe not at the behest of the Camarilla. And Vic, the Hecate, are apparently curious about you.
So this attorney could. I'm not remembering Abraham's allegiance, but could that be him? Was he Camerly?
You mean could Abraham have been the attorney?
Yes.
I don't know. I never got the impression that Abraham was an attorney, but
Oh no, not Abraham, Haddonfield or whatever.
Haddonfield?
Sorry. I clump them together sometimes.
I don't know.
When we met.
Now, Sonny didn't tell me the name of the person.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it wasn't Haddonfield, but maybe it was. I mean, she said, because my first thought was the reason there was a Cami lawyer waiting there was because they were helping the Northeast Anarchs against us, but she said, no, that's not the case.
So it
maybe
could be the other motive.
Do we have a way of getting a hold of Haddonberger? Surely somebody got his number. Or we got a hold of them. Do we have a way to get a hold of him?
After he got back in good enough shape, and after you guys fairly unceremoniously told him that he needed to keep his mitts to himself regarding Robin.
Mm-hmm. He didn't like that much.
Yeah, no. He left.
I tell you, the people
pretty unceremoniously.
The people that we have saved from death and then the way they treat us, I'm thinking we need to stop saving people from death.
Yeah. No, I'm in full agreement.
Except for Nawal. I mean, we need to get her back. After
No,
that,
either that or we save them, but we still strap them to the roof, and then we just ask where their allegiances are, and just be like, "All right, you owe us all major boons," and they make them agree to major boons.
Of course, they're going to agree to that. That still doesn't mean. The better thing is to have somebody hiding behind them with like a loaded shotgun that they are not aware of, and then see how they react. And if they,
that's me then, because I've got the shotgun,
and you've got the way to hide yourself.
Next time, I'll just stand behind them.
Okay.
You guys try to talk. You do the talking, I'll do the shooting. If they,
yeah. So all right, so we've got our flyers, and we know that the Hecate is curious about Vic, which is kind of interesting.
That's interesting.
Northeast Anarchs are mobile. Even the Nosferatu don't know their haven, which is kind of interesting.
And honestly, like out of game, Vic is too dumb to know, even like theorize why I as a player, I'm not even sure why the Hecate is necessarily after him. I have some hints, but Vic is not. He wouldn't be catching on.
Did you have any dealings with them when you were in New York?
No. As soon as I got turned, that's pretty much when I left. I got turned in New York and I left.
Okay.
When I came to Philly. Prior to turning, I have mob ties and I've got some family ties that I left, but I didn't have a vampire life in New York.
Yeah. Okay. Well, to my own detriment, I sometimes feel like the direct approach is the best approach. I mean, we know some pretty high up people in the Hecate. We could always just go ask if we ever feel like we want to take that avenue. But
yeah, I'm sure if they're investigating me, I'm sure they'd want to question me for information anyway, right? So
they have ways of letting us know if they want to be upfront about it. So it's kind of weird. We also know there's potential dissension in those ranks, or there at least was.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, the task at hand. Do we want to go hand out or set out some flyers?
Good.
So where are you going to go put these flyers?
Unless real quick, unless Al, if you wanted to do about the thing we talked on the break, like you want to like start working on the club's media or Facebook or like something like that,
We've got to already have something like that in place.
I was going to question the Storyteller about that. Like, I'm sure we would have had some kind of baseline media presence.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to put out a clip of the security footage of what he did to Robin, and if you can turn in any information about this person, there'll be a generous reward. Just please contact us and let it fly. Just see what happens. As far as a direction, if we know that these people are still being hosted and frequenting Sabine's place, then maybe start a radius from there.
Yeah. Let's just head up to the Northeast and start papering.
Hitting up the convenience stores, record shops.
I really think we should have, even made it almost like it was a missing person. So like, have you seen me? It just have a phone
Well,
number.
we're doing half. Yes, we're doing some like that, specifically targeting this guy, and then we're doing club promotion as well.
Yeah.
So just kind of throw.
Cool. Let's do it.
So as you guys are heading up north, the when you get to what you know is Anarch or the Northeastern Anarch's territory, the general attitude here seems very quiet. As opposed to in West Philly, where even at all hours of the night, people can be found out on the streets wandering around, or down in Center City, where there's always, between the major businesses and the clubs and the restaurants and everything like that, there are people kind of at all hours. Up here, there are a couple places where it seems like there are kind of hubs of activity, but it's not like that. Like once the sun goes down here, it very much seems like the level of activity here drops precipitously. There's a lot of times when you guys are driving down and you will drive to a street, and even sitting there looking for a minute or two, there's no movement. There's not, there's no dogs and cats running around. There's not cars driving. It is almost as if this part of the city is on some sort of lockdown without knowing that it is.
Is that out of the ordinary for it?
Given the rest of the areas in Philly, where a lot of the Philly tends to be one of the cities, it's one of the largest cities in the United States. It's part of the DC metro area. So yeah, it seems, particularly when you consider that within basically a 3-hour round trip, that you could be in Philly, DC, or New York, for there to be any place that seems like it's under some sort of lockdown, seems a little out of place.
Okay, interesting.
So when you say you are starting at the radius around Guilt and starting to go out from there, do you actually flyer at Guilt? Do you go to Guilt to flyer, or do you?
I don't know if I would do that.
No, but do you guys think we should at least pop in and say hello and make our presence known? Or just...
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth... We could pop in. Maybe they're in there, and we could also, just chit-chat with Sabine a little bit and then head out. I would think that I wouldn't... Because we've got the two different flyers, right? We've got the flyers that are promoting our club, and we've got the flyers that are "Have you seen me?" about the guy. I would put some of the "Have you seen me" flyers
around the club,
close to Guilt, but not like I wouldn't flyer Guilt.
Right.
We could give one to Sabine. I'm sure giving one to her personally.
So I'm sure she'll recognize him.
Yeah, we should let her know what we're up to. I mean, at least pay her that courtesy.
So you guys do head to Guilt.
Yeah, let's go to Guilt first and just.
But I would also try to impress upon her to not let them know, because she
because we're gonna leave flyers around, and that's subtle.
I
mean,
okay. We're not really taking the subtlety route, but sure.
So when you guys get to Guilt, it is a reasonably quiet night. That's not to say that there aren't a bunch of cars in the parking lot, or that there aren't that the ushers don't come out to greet you immediately as they always do. But once you're inside, as they escort you in, the general tone and tempo for the club, and even the music, is very down tempo. There are people in booths, but everybody seems like they're kind of doing their own thing. It's not exactly a party atmosphere. It's very it's more nightclub or lounge than it is party, party club or dance club.
Right.
So when you get to the into guilt, what are you going to do first?
Probably just ask the ushers to let Sabine know that we're here.
When you say that, one of the ushers brings you to the bar and leaves you there. While you're standing there, the bartender looks at the three of you and goes, "Is there anything I can get for you tonight? Would you like a drink?"
She's still doing those fancy flights. You guys want to split one?
Sure. I could drink.
I think you both are hungry, but
Yeah, and I'm assuming we didn't notice anybody interesting in there during our walk to the bar.
On your walk in, with just a cursory glance around, you didn't catch anything specific.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess we can have something while we're waiting for Sabine. What's the specialty tonight?
He says, "What is the better question is what is on the menu for your palate? What are you in the mood for?"
Answers. It's the truth. That's what I'm going to say to him.
He
Don't
nods and
confuse
he
the poor
goes.
boy.
He nods and he goes, "Then perhaps I can offer some answers in a different fashion." He goes, "Again, what would be the palette that we're attempting to, say, color with tonight? What are we looking for?"
Something euphoric.
Yeah.
He goes, "I have just the thing." He wanders off and comes back with a wooden container, or excuse me, a wooden, basically block of wood that has 3 highball glasses on top of it and a small cask. He sets it down in front and he pours from the cask into each of the highball glasses, about a little over a third each. For the bloodhounds, as soon as you smell this is extremely potent. This is not kindred vitae, but whoever that this is was either very, very high when this was procured, or was doing something very exciting, because just even the whiff of it immediately brings out all sorts of resonances that you can smell.
Okay, and Al's not aware of that, right? That's a bloodhound thing?
Correct.
Okay. I will basically pick up mine and give it a little sniff and kind of look at Al and say, "This smells like some really good stuff." And then chug a lug. Cheers, chug. I'll do the
You
get up.
animal. I sip mine.
Kidding?
Animals.
So the taste is electric. It is active. It is, for a brief flash, you are on stage with a crowd of thousands in front of you cheering you. You have a entire light show that is just around you, that is making you larger than life, like a small god. There is pyrotechnics, except that this memory, you are not afraid of them. They are just this warm glow that just kind of envelops and feels all around you, and the crowd screams.
So it's Rammstein blood.
Like that time I went to see KMFDM.
The bartender smiles and says, "A recent vintage that we were able to acquire from a young starlet who was on tour, who happened to owe some favors to people who may have gotten her where she was."
Oh, it did taste a little like Brittany.
I was about to say, is this why she was on lockdown for so long?
No, I'll just thank him.
At about this point, Sabine walks up. She is in a floor-length green dress that is the color of marble. Her hair is slicked back and wet, and she is wearing significantly less makeup than she normally wears. She comes out and she greets each of you in turn. She goes, "Where is our dear Mr. Starwell? He never comes with you anymore. Have I done something to offend him?"
He's chasing a lead.
No, you have
On
not.
a bit of an investigation. No, not that we know of.
She goes, "Please tell him that I am on the verge of taking offense if he doesn't make an appearance soon."
Of course.
Definitely.
She goes, "Meanwhile, I can only tell you that I am ecstatic to see the three of you. What can I do for you?"
Well, notwithstanding this wonderful vintage, we're ecstatic to see you as well.
She goes, if that is what I think it is," and she shoots a look at the bartender, who gives a subtle nod. She goes, "That was a difficult to acquire vintage. It was perhaps not worth the trade that I made for it, but it definitely seems to be popular with our clientele."
Mm-hmm.
It was very tasty.
Yes. Vic, are you going to drink yours? Or what's up? Vic, did you drink yours?
Mm-hmm.
Let's split it, Al.
Hell yeah. Half it in my glass and
Yeah, some people have
toast.
Yeah, cheers. Here's to Vic's generosity. Gulp.
She says, "So, to what do I owe the pleasure this evening? What can I do for you?"
Well, I'm not sure if you've had the pleasure of meeting one of our own named Robin, but someone decided to assault is a light way of putting it. Her last night by putting her through her wall, through the wall of her bar.
Sabine's mouth immediately, she's like, "Oh my god, is she okay?"
She's healing,
Yeah,
but
Luckily, she's cool, so she's healing.
but
she's fine. She's fine.
he was acquired by the police and let go rather quickly, and I think you know that does not spell justice.
She goes, "No, but that does sound like the typical MO for the Camarilla."
Exactly.
Here's what he looks like. Bam! I'm going to show her one of the flyers.
She lets loose a sigh, and she goes, "Well, I don't know him by name. I do know his sire, Ajax."
Hmm.
She says, "He is one of the Northeast Anarchs. He is one of the four primary members, and often one of the more troublesome ones."
Mm-hmm. Yes, we found that out last night.
She goes, it would appear that his progeny are no better than he is.
Well, at this point, we would like to find any way we can to get in touch with this person or anyone aligned with him.
Yeah.
Do you think that you could give us any kind of information on contacting Ajax or any of the four?
She looks a little nervous when you mention contacting Ajax, and she goes, would that I could, but unfortunately, as I'm sure you understand, this is their territory, which means that even though my allegiance is towards the city's anarchs and to Mr. Starwell in particular, tend to run longer than that. She goes, it would not behoove me nor my business to stray too far, shall we say, against those who hold dominion here.
Want to bite the hand?
So what's with the town anyway? Why does everything seem so quiet?
Well, then, if we're in, and only if it seems like we're in private conversation, I don't want to say this publicly. But if it seems like we're in private with her, then I would like to say, like, well, then what would it take to transfer that dominion over to someone who would be more lenient with your prospects? Because they seem to be out for every other anarch in the city, which is not going to work out for you if you're in their territory and every other anarch has to come over here to fight them.
She points to you, Idaho, and she goes, to answer your question, she says, the reason why everything around here seems so quiet is because Reese has issued a bit of an edict. She says all kindred who are within bounds here are subject to, she says a quarantine is not exactly the right word, but they are not allowed to just run freely here after hours. If they want to hunt, they have to hunt in other domains. If they want to sire, they need to bring their potential future kindred before her. She says, though she claims to be the head of the anarch movement in this part of town, and she has shown significantly more leniency towards the Thin Bloods than the Camarillo might. In many other respects, she is perhaps more rigid than even the Camarillo are.
She sounds like a dictator.
I certainly wouldn't fly the flag of anarch under this regime.
Nah.
She turns to you, Vic, and she goes, to answer your question, there would only be two potential answers to that. Would be that Reese and the rest of the Northeast Anarchs are removed and someone else takes over the territory, or she says the territory is merged into a greater territory.
Mm-hmm.
I think at one point that was something that we had on our minds, but
we proposed it to them.
They basically,
they were very adamant about being pretty. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Thanks, Vic.
I was just agreeing.
Mansplaining.
Sabine kind of turns her hands up and says, after the loss of my original club, this seemed like a prime piece of real estate to attempt to rebuild. But once Reese and the others moved in, it would be too difficult to attempt to move yet again in such a short time period.
But is there a but in there, or is that it?
She says, no, there's no but. She's like, I can't speak too terribly ill of them. They have let me continue to operate here with relative impunity within my four walls. Says they have not attempted to ask for any sort of tithings from my business, though under the type of regime, as you called it, they would certainly be entitled to.
Yeah.
She says, for all intents and purposes, the most that they do every once in a while is drop in for some drinks and for whatever information that they can possibly acquire from me, which unfortunately I am in a position to want to give.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we're not too thrilled with them. We'd be happy to have joined with them and just made a unified anarch front, but they're not interested in that. They're interested in causing trouble and frankly making us all weaker. And they have gone too far. And now we're going to try to get things under control.
She goes, I hope you can, but if it makes you feel any better, she said, Reese may have overstepped her boundaries a bit.
In what way? You mean by doing... Okay, sorry, go ahead.
She leans against the bar and looks around, and then looks to you and says, she thinks that she can establish her territories further and establish herself as the de facto baron of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
By picking a fight with a kindred that she knows very, very little about. Shaw.
She's picking a fight with Shaw?
She has made it an active decree that any information about the man is to come directly to her.
How?
That is something that I am not currently privy to.
Well, we have information on Shaw.
She goes, do you?
Yeah, we do.
Well then, would you like me to attempt to contact Reese and set up a meeting?
Yeah. I mean, you look like you're kind of nervous. Do you think there's people here right now that are going to overhear us and report back to her?
She goes, it is always a concern.
You think that they're really just letting her have free run even within these four walls? No.
So
someone's here taking...
Sabine nods at Alice and goes, crazy, but wise.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
what that means is they aren't just leaving you alone to your own devices. They're leaning on you, and you're operating your business and your life in a different way than you would have otherwise. Like if you were in West Philly, for example.
She kind of spreads her hands and...
Well, anytime you want to, I mean, if you want to try to pass that information along, that would be great. If you want to 911 us, if they're ever in here, that would also be great. You kind of make up your own mind on where you want to stand on this. If you want to help us to make this a true anarch city, or continue to live a limited life under the boot heel of someone who might as well just be a Camarilla.
She kind of nods sadly, and she goes, At one point, I had thought that Mr. Starwell would be the rising star to follow in this matter.
Well, he was, and that's why he was taken down. They knew.
Well, between Michael and Threnody, we're seeing what we can do to get things back under our brand of control.
I mean, you might as well start calling these people neocams for all intents and purposes.
That's what they are.
They're not anarchs whatsoever.
She nods sadly at the both of you, and she goes, "If you want me to contact Reese and attempt to set up a meeting, telling Reese that you have some sort of information about Shaw," she goes, I will do that.
Yeah, you can tell Reese that we know how to make Shaw appear, because we do.
She goes, "Then I will pass that information along."
In the meantime, we're going to be cruising around the area, handing out these things, and we'll show her the flyers so she knows what we're doing.
She nods and she goes, "Just not on
You're
my
muted,
property,
Zack.
thank you."
So the beacon one's not on club property.
Oh, we're not going to put any of these on the guild property because we
Right,
care
right.
about your freedom and your autonomy, but we're going to put stuff around the area.
But we talked about a little bit of a wider radius for the for the beacon flyers.
She nods and she goes, "Of course, I can't tell you what to do and not to do outside of my domain." She goes, "But," she goes, "you know, of course, that by advertising for your own business in this territory, that will be seen as a bit of an affront, though I'm sure you don't care."
Yeah,
I think at this point the affront
That's-
is intentional.
that's why
We need to get some attention and get these guys' attention fast.
we don't need to advertise the club. We're doing this to offend them. That's exactly why we're doing it.
But thank you for your concern.
And we're concerned about you.
Hmm.
That's why we came here.
She goes, "I appreciate the concern." She goes, "However, I will make do, as I always have.
Yeah.
And hopefully, in the future, we will be able to get together under more auspicious circumstances."
Certainly.
We're working on it.
And thank you for the drink. And if you're feeling down now, just to have some of what we had, and you'll probably feel better.
She goes, "I would, but I also know the circumstances and the contracts that this young starlet is under, and that would just make me feel worse."
Mm.
Of course. Well, thank you anyway, as always.
She bows, gives everybody, kisses on the cheek, and disappears back into the folds of her club, as it were.
Mm.
So, while you're standing there at the bar, before you leave, is there anything else that you want to do before you leave?
You guys think we should just cruise, make a walkthrough just one time? Make sure that we're not...
Yes. When did you become psychic?
Maybe I got all kinds of things going on in here.
Yes. I think we
use the unseen.
Yeah, we could do that too. I think it would be really cool for us just to take a casual stroll through the entire, normal parts of the place, as if we are not trying to keep ourselves from being noticed, and see who we see. And unless we're interrupted, just casually make our way out. And Al, if you want to sense any unseen while we're in here, throw down.
So
sorry to interrupt, Knox. Did that blood knock our hunger down at all, or was it an insufficient amount?
Insufficient amount.
Damn, can we get more?
It was like 3 fingers, so...
More, it was good stuff. Okay. All right, let's move on.
It was 3 fingers, that's what she said.
Bingo.
So, as you were walking through the downstairs of the club, when you glance up, standing on one of the catwalks away from you, you notice the librarian standing with other, maybe kindred, maybe ghouls, maybe thinbloods. She's standing in the middle of a crowd of them, and while she is looking down, and she is definitely looking at you, she's not making any sort of movement or intention to point you out or anything like that.
Okay.
I just do this.
Oh my god. I do this. Well, you can't see it. I was trying to do the Macarena. Never mind.
But that is the only really notable person that you see there.
Okay.
So, as you are heading out, where are you going next?
Well, I guess we're just going to start making a circuit of the place and just
Kind of
Nearest-
cruising.
yeah,
Nearest
just
24-hour place, like Walmart's, like CB, like those places that have like those 24-hour crowds would probably be
Yeah.
good places.
police
Like, start
station,
putting
hospital.
stuff up.
Whataburger
Please, yeah.
parking lot.
Whataburger, McDonald's. All
You
those
don't have
places that-
Whataburger there.
Nope.
No, not in
Sorry.
Philly.
Oh, let's just leave. All right, we're gonna move.
I know.
To,
We're moving.
Philly.
There's no
We're gonna move-
Whataburger.
we're gonna move to
Ah,
Houston. We're gonna just solve this problem right now and move to Houston.
Forfeiting the entire city
We'll just
later.
take another
Yeah.
place. Just fucking.
Just leave
Even
a
though
note.
we can't eat food.
Yeah, we're gonna leave a post-it for Michael. Went to Houston, need Whataburger. Yeah, we're just gonna hang out outside the Whataburger, and as people are leaving, eating, we're gonna feed on those people.
You realize anybody outside of Texas is listening to this doesn't understand what the fuck we're saying
No,
right
no.
So
now.
that's- I was actually
Whataburger
gonna say,
actually
that's-
goes all the way to the panhandle of Florida.
Yeah, I was going to actually say the nearest Whataburger to Philadelphia is actually in Alabama.
Well, we're not gonna go to Alabama, so
Mm-mm,
Mm-mm.
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 let's go to New Orleans. There are no other vampires there, right?
They probably have weekly cage matches for Baron.
It's like the only place you're allowed to breach the Masquerade because everybody's like, whatever.
Yeah, but places that are open 24 hours or
Yeah.
open late, Taco Bell's, like
Yeah, so we're just gonna, and I mean, wherever it looks like there are flyers, if that's even still a thing, just setting stuff out around
The
town.
24-hour coffee shops.
Telephone
They always
poles.
have like the little table to put flyers
Yeah.
on, that kind of shit.
And again, driving. I assume we're in the hearse, right? So we're in our signature car. I'm not. Am I driving? Unless
I'm
Al,
assuming.
Al,
I
did
don't
you
have
put
to
one?
drive.
Oh, I thought you put. I thought
It's
somebody-
either me or you.
I
can
thought I
drive.
did at one point too.
I'm driving. I'm cool. It's kind of my car now, I guess. But basically, driving slow. I'm not exceeding the speed limit
Cruising.
at all. Exactly. Just like we walked out of the club very slow, driving through the lockdown neighborhood pretty slow.
We're just acting like we own this fucking
Not
place.
not
Mhm.
trying to be subtle, not trying to act, not being brazen, but like we're not trying to hide either.
So, as you guys post flyers and drive around and kind of wander through the entire territory, making yourselves both known and putting flyers wherever, it's only when you get close to the river, and Al, you are looking in a southerly direction, that you see something that catches you off guard. It's a little bit like a puzzle piece that kind of clicks into place, and you see something that you haven't seen, at least not from this angle, before. As you get closer to the river and you're looking down, you see a set of industrial warehouses going down the river.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize that you've been here before.
With Robin. When we ran into Charles or
Shaw.
Shaw.
And you know that this is also not too far away from where you met somebody who may or may not be God.
Yeah, I'd probably... Guys, I recognize this spot. Pull off over here on the... I guess just the right, whatever.
I'm going to cut across traffic. I don't care who's in the way. This is important.
Good luck, everybody.
Get out of my way when I drive through your yard.
So when you pull up to it, where do you just drive into the warehouses, or do you park outside, or
Probably park outside under a light.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to sort of just follow Al's lead on this and just whatever.
Yeah, I'm just
I
kind
don't
of...
know, I don't know what she's referring to.
Yeah, as we're pulling in, I would
Over.
explain, like, this is where me and those fucking thin bloods conned me and Robin into taking off that night, and subsequently led Robin down the path that she is now on. We ran into Shaw here, and one guy just basically got ripped apart. Might not be a bad
Wait, so we're
place to
coming
snoop.
back here after some guy got ripped apart?
Yeah. Vic, go
Well,
first.
you guys should have known about all of this when Robin got first brought back.
Right. But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
we
some
didn't
guy
know-
got ripped apart here, and you're taking us back to the place where the guy
No,
got...
we're in the parking
Thank
lot.
you.
We're in the parking lot under
Hey,
this
Vic.
big bright light. Remember
Vic,
light?
Vic, go check it out. We'll be right here with the car running.
This is Scream 2. I'll be right
in
back.
Let me
reverse.
tie a blood bag around your
Yeah.
neck.
Okay, he left. All right, let's leave now. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna back the car. Yeah. So this is where you encountered Shaw and Lilith.
Well, she wasn't here. I
don't even know if Idaho knows about Lilith and the vampire lord thing.
Actually, I don't think I told anybody.
Yeah, I don't know what you've, but okay. So this was a pretty scary.
So hold on one second. Let's have kind of a meta discussion. Al, what did you tell everybody about that night? To what point did you tell everything, and what did you leave out? This is kind of a meta out of character discussion thing, but
Although everybody already knows I'm a nutcase, I think, ranting and raving about meeting a goddess would have probably made everybody look, more than twice at me. So I would have just told them that, I had a fucked up experience down in the sewers, and just some new things have opened up for me mentally. And I'm sure everybody's just going to agree with that because I'm already psycho.
okay.
Actually, as I recall it, that's what you told us about everything except the maybe goddess.
Right. I got lured down in the sewers and had to find my way out.
So who lured you down into here?
It was just like a voice.
Oh, so it wasn't like the Thin Bloods or another vampire or anything.
No.
Oh, do you
was
hear
in
it
my
now?
head. No,
Do you? No.
because it's not a consistent thing.
What the heck? Okay, so what are we doing? Are we just going to go investigate these warehouses, Vic?
I don't know. I don't know what's down here. What? I'm kind of looking for some direction here. I just
Yeah, I was actually asking Alice, but implying that you would be going first.
I mean, I can go first. I just kind of need some. Which warehouse am I walking towards? Where am I going?
What are we doing? What are we doing, Al?
I don't know that I would have had time to really memorize the place with everything that was going on.
There was a lot of running that night.
There was a lot of running.
People were running away.
I'm sure I could at least, and this would be up to Storyteller, but I'm sure I could at least recognize where the guy got ripped apart, because that was pretty much where there was like a peak of activity. But that would be up to Storyteller.
Yes, I know.
Did you share the ripping apart with us? Was that part of what you told us?
Mm-hmm. Literally, the only thing I didn't mention was running into a goddess.
Now,
The situation happened up here. I heard a voice that lured me away from the warehouses down into the sewers, and then
so why did you come to the warehouse in the first place?
because Robin ended up being talked into going out with these thin bloods, and I kept telling her it was a bad idea, but it was a slow night.
They weren't.
So,
They weren't thin bloods. They were full.
oh, they were full. Okay, and
Who was it?
it was a group that had been hanging out at the end of the bar.
Was the librarian one of them or no?
She's a thin blood.
No, but Alyssa was.
No.
Yeah.
Alyssa. Okay.
So it's people. They were not thin bloods.
No.
They were full on.
And they wanted Robin to come out here with them.
Well, they
Mhm.
wanted her to go party at some other clubs.
Well, they're
And it was
freaking
a slow
vampires.
night.
I mean,
And she kept being real insistent about wanting to hang out with them, and to save face and to protect her, I went along. And I set strict rules for where we were going to go, what was going to happen, and they threw that shit right out the fucking window.
so they brought you here to this specific place, and it was some kindred and the librarian.
Nope.
No, Alyssa.
Not the
Oh.
librarian. Sorry, that was my mistake. No librarian. Alyssa.
What the hell? And one of the vampires that was in the group that got you guys to come here was one of the ones torn apart.
Yeah, wasn't it the real douchebaggy guy? Wasn't he the one that got ripped up?
You don't know if he got ripped up. You're assuming he got ripped up.
What?
The last thing that you saw of him was him charging into a very dark room.
Oh, so
And
there
then
may or may
screams.
not have been somebody ripped up. So why did he? Was it Shaw? Was in the
Well,
dark room?
Robin was witness, right? Didn't you say
Yeah,
that's why she like cracked, is because she witnessed
Yeah,
what happened?
That's why you did the flashy thing. on it.
Yes.
And this is
So
where all
I
that
didn't
shit
see it.
happened.
She did.
What the hell? And we want, and we're willing to let Vic go in there. I got no bones in my
chalk?
shoulder.
Do we have to chalk? Let me just go ahead and mark the door right now.
Shit. Do we want to?
Come on, Shaw. Come on,
So
we're
Al,
right here. We're
what are
here.
you-
We're right
What are you
here.
hoping to get out of this visit down memory lane here?
Not in so much as just showing you that
Oh,
this is
Okay,
where
we-
everything went down.
oh
And
my
if
God.
we knowing that people, at least other vamps, are, frequenting out here, we can at least throw a couple of flyers up and get out. But I wanted you guys to at least know I recognize this place. This is where I ended up that night with Robin.
All right, fuck it. Let's go. Let's go check it out. I want to get out the car. You talked me into it. Let's go.
So you guys head into the warehouse.
Oh, are there any animals around, like rats or things like that?
Where you are right now, there are not, but it would not be.
I mean,
difficult
is it possible for me to get like a sense of that? I mean, how do I figure that out?
I mean, that would be. I would assume that you would know, like inherently, given where you are, with enough experience in the city, you'd be able to make a pretty decent guesstimate.
Well, I want to see if there are any rats in the vicinity that I can maybe talk to.
There are not, but you are pretty sure that the closer that you get to the water, the more likely you are to be able to come across wildlife.
So I'm going to basically share my train of thought with Vic and Al and say, well, all right, I might be able to get some information from the local wildlife, or we can just go peek around inside the warehouses, or just leave flyers and get out of here. What do you want to do?
I don't know. I'm a stranger here. I'm
We're all strange.
I said I had no intention of necessarily investigating. I just wanted you guys to know what happened, when it happened, where it happened.
Okay.
And, we can just put the flyers up and keep moving.
So how far are we from the river, from the water?
So to give you kind of a thought process layout of about how this warehouse looks, This is a kind of like a giant industrial set of warehouses. So it is they're kind of the hangar style with the concave tops that are they're each spaced about 2 to 3 car widths apart. There are probably 15 or 20 of them that are basically going up the river, and each of them is about the size of a small building. And there's probably about 4 deep. There is a much larger structure that's kind of in the middle, kind of like maybe a larger warehouse that was used for like keeping bigger things. And then there are on the far side, like right on the river, there are some small docks. It's almost like a marina area that's kind of inside where slightly bigger boats, not like yachts or something like that, but maybe like tugboats or something like that could have been docked. Like this is definitely a port of call or an offloading spot for some small to moderately large uh, vessels. With that said, the everything here is in a pretty bad state of disrepair. The only thing that seems to be in any sort of reasonable shape is the fence. Whoever's basically putting the fence up to make sure people don't see inside of it has made sure that the fence is in decent shape. But once you've basically hopped the fence and are inside, it looks like this place has suffered some amount of disuse.
So, are we that close to the water or not?
I would say you're probably about, in terms of like a street thing, you're about 5 blocks from the water.
Yeah, that's not close enough. All right, I guess we'll just paper the area with some of our flyers just for the hell of it, and then unless anybody wants to do any investigating, we can move on.
If I don't smell anything with blood
Yeah.
while I'm flyering stuff, I mean, I'm just doing our normal flyering thing. But if I don't smell anything with bloodhound while I'm flyering things, then I'm
I
probably
think,
just
while I'm throwing up my flyers, I'd probably hit the Sense the Unseen just to see if we're actually alone out here.
So I will give you the sense of the unseen. There's nothing out here that is.
Okay.
As for Bloodhound, you do smell. You smell. It smells like a group of kindred.
Really? Like close?
They're somewhere on the premises here. You can smell multiple of them. It's not one smell. It's several smells.
All right. Well, Vic, I guess, also picks up on this, so we'll share it with Al and say maybe we do need to investigate.
we smell kindred.
This might be.
We're not alone.
It might be the Northeast Anarchs for all we know. So we should probably take a little bit of a closer look.
As quietly as possible. I rouse the blood. Sense the unseen.
Unseen just did it.
No, he meant unseen passive.
Okay, I was like, God, Vic.
I'm sorry, it meant me. Did I click? Oh, when I re-rolled you, it did you.
Yep.
Okay, so is that
Yeah, you guys want to go invisible and check it out, and I'll just make sure nobody takes the car.
Yep, of course. Well, no, we certainly don't want to come out here and have slashed tires and be totally fucked.
No. In fact, just to be safe, I'll park 5 blocks down the street, but it shouldn't take you long to catch up with me when I'm leaving.
Don't be a dick. Be a dick. Be a dude.
You know me, I'm always either super afraid or just plunging headlong into reckless danger.
Maybe keep it running.
So, you two are the two of you going to Unseen Passage? Okay, so rouse check.
Mine was a 7. It just says ow.
Okay, so Al gets more hungry.
I'm going to cover them with the 50 cal sniper rifle that I keep in the trunk that I told you about on the first session, in case you forgot.
You can't even cover them because you can't see them.
I can overwatch.
Okay, XCOM.
He's He's got heat vision. He can see through the buildings.
Alice, as you fade from view, your stomach tightens, and the feeling in your throat starts to catch, and you hear the voices in your head saying, they can't see you now. You could just sneak up behind one of them and just sink your teeth in and steal everything they have.
It's great advice. Do it.
Especially the annoying one.
Yes. Don't do that to Vic.
The other annoying one.
Slade is here?
So,
Where's Samantha?
Oh, no.
So, just to clarify, the two of you are creeping through the warehouse together, and Idaho is heading back to the car. Is that the...
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't want to get too far away just in case they need help. So I might just kind of loiter where we are as they go about their business.
So, as you guys are creeping through the warehouse, Al, as you're going through here, start to experience visions. It's almost like watching yourself as you're running through, seeing where Rob chased into that, where Robin took off running. You think that somewhere here nearby is where you ran by Tabitha as you ran away from Shaw.
Is it enough of a strong enough vision that I could basically follow what I'm seeing and walk the same path?
More or less.
Okay.
It's only the point where you see something so outlandish and bizarre that you think that you're seeing a vision, except Vic, you can see this too. Holding onto the side of one of the buildings. It is under the eaves and mostly hidden by view. But it is, because it is not a part of what you're seeing, it is so obvious to you, is a hand. It is gloved and black. The flesh for it runs past up the arm, so just a little bit past the point of where a glove would be. And the flesh at the top is kind of melted over. It almost looks like candle wax. Affixed on the end of the arm are 3 eyes that are looking at you. They're lidless. There's the eyes themselves are dried out and kind of shriveled looking, but the hand is definitely just hanging there and is definitely the eyes definitely seem to be focused on you.
Even through obfuscation.
You can't be sure, but
We only knew one person with 3 eyes.
Does it appear to have any movement, or it's just sitting there?
I mean, it hasn't moved.
But it just looks like somebody stitched 3 eyeballs on the end of a hand.
Oh no, it looks very, very like a real creature.
Okay.
Is it like hanging there and nailed to the wall, or is it standing on its fingers?
No, it's like holding on. It's like holding on.
Wow, that's a trip.
Can I share the senses
Oh,
to see if it sees me?
that's a great idea.
You can. I will permit this.
What a great idea.
Modifiers.
That is more than enough. What senses are you attempting to share?
Well, I imagine the only 2 senses this thing has would be sight and touch.
So
But
the
I mean, I guess I would just go for broke, see what I'm like, just experience.
the 2 things that you experience are a weird vision in terms of how this thing perceives the world. It is certainly alive. Its eyes were almost certainly not designed for a tripart view. So it is like wearing 3D glasses that are badly focused. There's some amount of visual pain that goes along with its eyesight, but it most definitely sees you and Vic. The other feeling that you experience is what you've only heard described of as phantom pain, except that the phantom pain is literally every part of its body that's missing.
Right.
Jeez. That's fucked up.
I say we get out of here and burn this motherfucker down. Get out of
I
here
know.
before we catch Frenzy.
Do I get any sense? Let me see. Does any of my occult knowledge tell me anything about a creature like this?
You could certainly roll your occult.
Okay. Would it be intelligence?
Yeah, it would definitely be intelligence and occult.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Ow.
You have heard of kindred who do things like this. This is commonly known through the discipline as vicissitude, but more commonly known as flesh crafting.
What?
This is
Abraham was doing.
This is the type of thing that has earned the specific kindred involved, the Zamitzi, a very, very unkind reputation within the kindred community, as they see these kinds of things as a kind of elevated art form, where everybody else sees this as
Mutilation.
as mutilation and torture.
So knowing that, would I know what this kind of creature experiences, its intelligence levels?
You would be able to you would be able to surmise that it's basically a halfway between, say, a security camera and a guard dog. It's not a real distant cry to think that if it's seen you, then whoever owns it also happens to know that you are nearby.
Okay. So I look, I guess Vic still can't see me. I'll whisper, head back to the car.
Nice.
And I'm going to take the flyer, the wanted flyer, and gently just hold it up. I know I'm breaking obfuscation, but this guy could see me anyway. And I'm just going to hold the flyer up.
That is
And I'm
awesome.
just going to slowly slink away.
So can I
I
ask
know.
a quick out of game question real fast?
Sure.
So basically, Al and Vic were seen by something, but it did not break their obfuscation.
Yeah, just like a security camera. Or
Which
it-
means
or
he
it
has
would-
the
it-
next
it-
step up from the
he's-
thing that
he's got
did I
sense.
get it?
He's got sense the unseen with the eyes on the hand.
Yeah, but
Right,
I thought when you see somebody that's obfuscated, it brings them out of obfuscation.
No,
It
doesn't.
it's no. So this is one of those things where if you see somebody who's obfuscated, then for you it's broken. But if somebody's right next to you and doesn't see it, then even if you tell them, be like, "Hey, there's something there,"
Oh, okay.
that won't break the perception. Now, if they walk up to it and kick it, then that will break it for them. But it is individual.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Idaho.
Yes.
While you are loitering near the way that you were originally, you hear a familiar woman's voice.
Oh, Jesus.
You hear what sounds like Alyssa.
It sounds like Alyssa. Okay.
And in a really breathy voice saying, "Help me. Help me."
Okay. How do I know who Alyssa is?
You met Alyssa way back when at the club when she was being some guy was being fresh with her and she basically physically assaulted him.
Oh, yes. I vaguely remember that. So I hear basically what sounds like her voice saying, "Help me."
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Can I tell where it's coming from?
It's coming from, you think maybe the warehouse that's in front of you. It might be the one that's after that. You're not sure.
But it's not where Vic and Alice are.
No.
Of course not.
Okay, I'm going to say, holy shit, where are you? Kind of just like in a low conversational tone.
The only response is a continued, "Please help me."
Holy fucking shit. I'm just going to hang right there and wait for Vic and Al to come back. Like, yeah. Nah, I'm not moving.
So, Vic, Al, it doesn't take you too long to get back to Idaho.
And I guess we're both going to fall all over each other with our news, huh?
Yeah.
You won't believe what I heard. You won't believe what I saw.
Pretty much.
Why didn't we burn this place down?
Yeah.
Why didn't we? Why haven't we?
Yeah. I'm gonna say to Vic and Al, like when Vic and Al, like, has Al already been broken from obfuscation by the time she returns because of the flyer thing, or she's still hidden?
Didn't you
She
guys say that you?
chose to break it.
I was gonna say I thought you guys said that you chose to break it.
Oh,
Or
She
did.
said she chose
Yeah.
to break
I
it.
sent him back under obfuscate.
all right.
So I
But
probably
once
good.
I moved and held up that
Okay.
flyer, I knew I was going to break it. So,
So you're back. Vic pops into visibility near us or whatever, and I'm
mhm.
just gonna be like that.
And at
Before
that
you guys,
point, if I'm close enough, do I hear this to
that's what
confirm
Uh,
it's?
that's what I'm gonna say. Do you
Oh,
guys hear
sorry.
that voice? Do you guys hear that voice?
you do indeed hear the voice.
Can we pinpoint what direction it's coming from? Is it coming from the direction we came?
No, it is from where Idaho is loitering. It is. You think maybe in the warehouse in front of you? It might be the warehouse behind that, though. But it is not terribly far away.
Hmm.
Now, Vic, Idaho, your noses also tell you that there again still are multiple kindred that are nearby.
This could be a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm half threatened to set things on fire before we head out of here.
Well, I mean, why do you want to set the place on fire?
To frenzy all those motherfuckers.
As much as that would be fun, we did already we are already trying to put in for a meeting with Reese, and I certainly don't think that that would be appreciated.
Yeah, we don't know if
Right.
these are. We don't know if these are. If we knew these were Northeast Anarchs, I'd say light them up. We don't know that.
No, they have this whole territory, though.
We've
You
been
are
seen,
actually, to be fair, you are actually approximately right here. So you are.
I miss it.
Right on the border.
So you are
River.
actually
Oh.
slightly within Cam
Okay.
and Sabat contested territory.
Yeah, my thoughts are either this is a group we have no idea who they are and maybe we shouldn't fuck with them, or maybe it is somebody who legitimately needs help, but geez, I'm not sure I'm willing to take that risk, or it's a freaking trap. Do we want to go check it out, or do we just want to get in the car and leave?
I'll just say we've been seen. The other kindred know we're here.
Oh, they do.
Well, someone knows.
What the hell is going on?
Let's just
Now-
say it was a very handy security cam.
It's a handy cam.
Yeah.
Was it doing its job?
Well, it saw us for sure, even though we were hidden. And so I just went ahead and ran with it and showed him our flyer and hope whoever's master is gets the fucking point.
Well, we're done then. We did. So this is going to be out of game because I don't know about Al's occult thing.
Mhm.
But does Al know that clan is typically associated with the Sabat?
That is so.
Or maybe
I would
that's
say
even not good information for this setting. I don't know.
I would go so far as to say that's probably a fairly well-known feature of them, but that also falls under the same category of that the La Sombra were also previously members of the La Sombra or of the Sabat. So
what the hell? What do you guys want to do?
Like I said, I'd like
I
to burn the
mean-
place down, but you guys both told me not to do that, so we can get in the car and go. I'm good.
Again,
What are we supposed to
I
use?
think we take a chance and litter little, just kind of toss, some things around over the fence and
just
let
get
those
outta
be
here while we
found
can.
and get out of here. And if we
All
find
right.
out something happened to Alyssa, then I'm sorry. I mean, why the fuck was she here in the first place?
This is some weird shit. And I tried
For
to
the
talk
same
to her.
reason you and Robin were here in the first place.
Well, I tried to talk to her and she didn't reply. All I heard was help me. And we're standing out here having this discussion and nobody's approached us.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
maybe
doesn't mean we have all the time in the world.
no, let's get the hell out. So we kind of scatter some flyers and Unless we're accosted or something, let's get in the car and get out of here.
So as you are starting to scatter flyers, Al, you hear a voice that sounds like what you think Tabitha sounded like. Going, God, help me. Please help me.
I have a huge idea out of game, but I think this is, but I don't know if Idaho would have this. In fact, I know Idaho wouldn't have this idea. So I'm not gonna say anything.
But only I'm the only one hearing this one.
Correct. But now all three of you can hear Alyssa's voice going, help me. Please help me.
What's this?
Holy shit snacks. Wait, these are the ones you came down here with, Al. You don't know what happened to them after you came down here with them.
Tabitha was, if you remember, way, way back when, the night you went to Club Voyeur with Ruby, and you two got caught feeding in the bathroom
Oh yeah.
by a Camarilla Toreador. And then later, she let you go. And later, when you went to the club with Rob, she was running that too. And that was when Alyssa assaulted her and basically kidnapped her, which is why you guys ended up here,
Yeah.
which was to murder her.
But we're not hearing Tabitha. Only Al is hearing Tabitha at this point.
Correct.
Yeah, guys, I don't know. I mean, still could be a trap. Anyone that knows, a crazy mount could be playing with my head. But I'm hearing a separate voice.
All right, I'm gonna go stand right by Al and see if I hear the other voice.
You hear a female's voice. It's kind of nasal, but it is in a similar whispery, raspy cadence as Alyssa, also saying, please help me.
Holy fuck. This is creepy as shit.
Oh,
I disbelieve.
But based on our track record of how we've been rewarded by people we've helped, I'm not
I
inclined to
know.
go
That's why I'm kind of. And
But maybe
neither
we
one of
should-
these two bitches do I have that much allegiance to. One
Well,
got
okay.
mad at me, and then the other one picked a fight to kill the other one. And I didn't like that
Okay.
bitch in the first place because she's the one that conned Robin into going along with all this bullshit in the first place.
You're right. You're
I
right.
got no love lost on these.
You're right. We should torch the place. Let's go get some gas cans.
They
Man,
can't be
that's
far.
one
This is like,
extreme to
we
the
gotta find
other. He's
gas
agreeing with me. Let's go. Now it's okay, Vic. Let's go. I like your plan. Let's do this one now.
Okay, here, why don't we put a pin in it?
Chicago
I
Fire
throw my hands.
2022.
Why don't we put a pin in it? Because I left the house tonight without my arson kit. Let's just put a pin in it and maybe come back another night now that we're a little forewarned and we can be better forearmed and we can investigate and or cleanse this place in the purging fire. One of the two.
Yep.
How about that? Let's get in the car
We
and get
could
the hell
even
out of
send
here.
some ghouls out during daylight hours to
Yeah.
poke around.
Let's send our ghouls to burn the place down. That's a much better idea.
We need a blimp. Drop some barrels.
Oh Lord.
We need to go to the Air Force Base and ghoul some bomber pilots. Anyway, let's get out of here.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm out.
Let's get.
So, as you guys are walking away, Idaho, you hear Alyssa's voice as you're walking away. It's saying, "No, please help.
I'm going to kind of stop and look at them and go, did you guys hear that again? No?
Did we? That one was just for him.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I didn't hear shit, man.
Fuck is that? Let's get out of here. Let's go. We got to
Somebody's
come
just
back.
playing with our heads. I'm convinced.
It's probably the Predator, but let's just get in the car and get the hell out of here.
Right?
So, when you get to the car,
Car's
the
gone.
only thing that is any different is you notice that underneath of the windshield wiper is one of your flyers.
Awesome.
And on the back of it, in big, greasy letters, it says, "Help me."
Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna pull the fly. I'm gonna just touch only what I have to, just barely, and pull it out from behind the winch and just let it drop on the ground. Oh wait, I'm not gonna let it drop on the ground. I'm gonna go, oh, should we take this back and let our Tremere look at it?
That's tinder for the fire.
Or that. What does the back smell like? That greasy stuff. What does that smell like?
You're not really sure.
Ectoplasm. They just ghost back there.
You should have grabbed the camera and brought it with you.
It could be. There's. You think maybe there's some blood, maybe kindred vitae there. There's definitely a smell of like grease or oil.
Okay.
But something that would probably be common to the area with there being like boating equipment and all that kind of shit.
You know what? I am going to take this with us.
Yeah.
I'm taking this with us.
Still looking.
And did you guys tell me about the weird hand camera yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, the handy cam.
The handy cam. And you guys should have grabbed that. We should take that too.
Oh, no. You don't want to be touching that. Whatever it is, it's reporting back to its master.
That's okay. All right, let's get out of here. Wow, this is creepy, and we're vampires, and this is creeping me out. Let's get the hell out of here.
So, as you drive back towards the beacon,
fast.
There is the unsettling feeling. Maybe you just abandoned some kindred to some sort of unspeakable torment. That maybe the things that you've seen tonight are not things that you ever want to see again.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, the things that you've seen have also seen you.
That was creepy as shit. Gotta go. Gotta drive. I'm driving the hearse to Houston to sleep tonight.
So, with that said, our session, though certainly not our chronicle, has ended. And we will be back.
No.
This is getting closer and closer to like a horror movie, and I was like, "Let's go! Come on!" That's the dumb white girl in me that wants to run up the stairs, and scream. No, let's go! Let's go check it out. Let's go check. And I was like, "Nope. I'm not gonna drag these two boys into this shit."
And we're like, "What, kindred? All right, let's set it on fire and let them run."
Yeah.
XP has been awarded.
Yeah, I need to start looking into that. I don't know, how much do I have? Let's see.
Since we're done, I guess I could go ahead and share my thought, because I was definitely thinking the people that went down into that area with Al all got turned into little Samichi experiments, and they still have enough consciousness left that they know the horror that their existence has become, and they're asking for help. And it would help them to burn the place. It would. Man.
Ooh, looking forward to next week.
Not me. No. Let's go check out South Philly next week. That was creepy.
It's a way to get a hand job that looks at you.
Oh.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Yeah, that was creepy as hell. That was so creepy. Bad knocks.
I like creepy. This is right up my
Oh, me
alley.
too. I love it. It was giving me some flashbacks.
I was honestly gonna say though that I was gonna if there had been a split in opinion and you'd been like, let's get out of here, and Big Dumb Vic's like, no, we're gonna see. I would have sided with Vic just for the excitement.
Oh yeah, if Vic would have been like, no, I'm gonna go over there and just started walking over there, I would never have abandoned them.
Oh man.
But, and if we were
I'd have
rolling
gone
with,
walking over there looking for something flammable.
yeah,
What
I
told
mean, if
me
we were-
though is the fact that we all heard different things at different times, which sounds again like targeted traps.
yeah, yes. If we had all heard the same voices, then I would have been like, yeah, let's go check it out. But since we didn't all hear the same voices, it did sound like they were screwing with us. But I don't know. That is weird. They saw us. They didn't come out to confront us. I totally got.
Maybe they don't have legs or something. I don't know. Maybe those are
Yeah,
being
but
used for other shit. But
whoever turned them into that could still be in there.
exactly. I'm not excusing that we left people because that's
Yeah.
exactly the point. Whoever created them is most likely still there.
Yeah. Well,
or at least on in this complex somewhere.
You got to admit though, we have saved a shit ton of vampires,
and very
through
few
our
are
50
thankful.
sessions, and hardly any of them have been thankful. So it's leading me to be less and less willing to stick my neck out for these jackasses.
No, I
Harvey
mean,
was thankful.
And so was Trinity. I mean, we have had some that have been thankful.
Yeah. But like for Alice, at least, just to give you an insight into Alice's mind, you know, when joining up with Michael in the first place, there was some kind of semblance of hope and like, oh, we're gonna build a community and this is gonna be cool. And then, you know, this war breaks out and we tried helping and Alice stood by and was like, I'll be useful, but I don't know about all this bullshit. And now it's just evolved so much. Alice don't give a fuck. We're done.
Yeah. Also, a lot of the ones that we saved that have come out to help us were ones that we knew before we saved them. Like we had relationships with them before, you know.
That's a good point. We haven't.
A lot of the ones that we just picked up on the you know offside, and we're just like, oh, it's a vampire, we should save him, and like you know maybe they'll owe us something in the future, and then they just fucking like become assholes, and so yeah, that's happened a lot.
You saved Kai.
Yeah, that's true, but still not shoot. Again,
I mean,
that was different. Like that was like we were in the jail cell. Like Al was able to share the senses with her and realize she was in a precarious situation. Like she was in a situation.
And when she lived with us, was she not, pleasant to be around? Like, I mean, I don't remember Kai necessarily raising a stink. It's just that whatever wanted her, took her on our turf.
We also saved Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
Shaw? Yeah, he was trapped.
He was part of the SI as well.
Oh, you're talking about it in the.
I mean, it was more collateral damage in my view, but
we saved nearly the entire freaking vampire community in this city, and this is how they repay us. Fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We're moving.
I mean,
give him my 2 weeks.
You say that, but there were just 2 kindred right there you didn't save. So apparently, you're not the saviors you think you are.
Oh, is Storyteller telling us something?
We're burned now.
No,
we got burned from being the saviors. We didn't get no thanks. We didn't get nothing.
I did want to save them.
When people don't get thanked after long enough, they just shut the fuck down.
That's right.
So, what a night.
Man, that was creepy. That was some creepy shit. Freaking Sumishi.
But
damn creep sauce vampires.
So, with that said, we will continue this next week. Vic and Al, did you guys want to finish your solo session that's now stretched over 3 nights?
Yeah, we could try to on Thursday.
Yeah, he's got meetings for the next 3 days.
Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday are like all day meetings. So Thursday should hopefully be the first day that I'm not sitting in meetings all day.
Yeah, Thursday I can't do it, so
I-
shoot for Friday or Saturday.
Friday is community night when we do Jackbox games.
Okay.
So, and that usually runs till 7. So, yeah, Saturday it's
Trade
kind
out
of.
for 1 week. It's up to you, but it's total. I guess
It'd be different if I did multiple community days. And some point I look into doing that once we get more growth on those nights. But right now, if that's the one night a week, then I'm trying to keep that consistent.
Okay.
That's fair.
So, yeah, we'll look for Saturday. I mean, even if it's midday, we don't usually have anything going on.
Oh.
Except naps.
That's very important.
Indeed. Indeed.
Well, I want to thank everybody for being here with us tonight. We had a very interesting adventure. I want to thank Knox, my storyteller, Skot, who plays Idaho, or our evil overlord, Zack, who plays Victor, and I'm your Al. We're going to get you guys rated over to a friend, so please hang on and stick around for that. Thanks again, everybody, and I will see you all tomorrow for City of Heroes. Peace out.